domain. TNA clashes, bodies collide. WE storm, nowhere to hide. NXT screams, battlegrounds call. AEW's gamble, rise or fall. Rise or fall. The square circle, fate will unfold. Glory or ruin, stories retold. Into somewhere, predictions roar. Battles eternal, forevermore.
What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming to you at a very heated and action-packed debate happening in the Discord live. We got a full house tonight. They can't hear you yet. Hold on. Let's get everybody clued in. That's right. We've got Cody, we've got Liz, we've got Spaz, and they are arguing about the end of the NXT Battleground main event. Trick Williams is our new champion. Holy hell. Hopefully everybody's doing good.
Trigger on Powerhouse Hobbs completely defenseless.
Yeah, we trading turns.
To Jake and I have talked about this forever. Ever since the TNA NXT thing happened, when is a belt going to cross over? There's two things, as you and I were discussing before.
Now we're good.
You either do it in TNA where the losers can feel the loss, or you do it in NXT where the winners can feel the win.
Yeah.
I think there's an equal case for both. Trick Williams now walking into NXT on Tuesday, swinging his dick all over Ava's office, saying, "Look what I just did for our show. Give me what I want," is awesome. And I also think, how can I say this? Joe Hendry being the ultimate feel good babyface, having the guts to go into enemy territory, and those guts ultimately being his downfall is another.
That's why I feel like
Yeah,
it would have been perfect.
but
for
they got Swerve coming out on a forklift right now. Akin to your job, Spaz. He's on a forklift. He's coming out. He is being driven by a professional, but Prince Nana is up there. They're raising him up and everybody, the founding fathers, the Young Bucks, standing there to get the Swerve stomp. This match has been pure goddamn chaos.
I'm giving up on my TV because you're way off.
AEW Double or Nothing.
You're way behind.
We're way behind on this stream, but that's all right. We're more excited about WWE NXT.
We're debating on who should have won. So I want to hear that debate between them real quick.
I know,
you want to see? Okay.
So what's
Joe Hendry that match? I was watching this chaos match. It was more exciting than the Joe Hendry match.
No, did you have the sound up though for Joe and Trick? Because the crowd was loving it. I'm just saying, the crowd that was
really
whoop
good
that
Trick.
Trick.
I didn't like the ending.
They were excited.
Anyways,
I like the ending, but I would have for that ending.
Okay,
I'm sorry, but the crowd was going nuts. We got that. Whoop that Trick chance. They were going nuts.
And I'm sorry, as somebody that was at TNA on Friday and on Saturday and had an awesome time.
Yes.
It's still TNA. And if you want to make history, you make history on the bigger show, and NXT is the bigger show.
And Joe Hendry takes the fall.
Okay.
That's dumb.
I like the ending.
He's the champion, of course. Okay, if the title's going to change, it's going to be the champion.
I don't think it's a bad idea for Joe Hendry to lose here. He's had 6 great title defenses.
I disagree.
I think Joe Hendry, as much as I love him, I'm a Joe Hendry guy. Say his name, and he appears. But it's okay for him to lose here, I feel like. The way it was done, they protected him. Joe's injured. He really does have a shoulder issue. He's got some bruises on his side. He needs time off.
Trick should have won, but the only thing I'll change is where it took place. It should have taken place in enemy territory.
I don't think so, because it's such a big deal that a TNA title is being defended for the first time ever, and a WWE star also steals it. Come on.
Okay, Cody, I'll put it to you
Because
this way,
he
right?
did steal it. He stole it. He stole that title.
Yeah,
Spaz,
That's why
he hit him with the title
he's
belt
well,
unintentionally.
actually, no.
My ass. I mean, he hit himself. Really.
Okay, I gotta correct you, Jake. I know it's your show, so you'll have to excuse me. He didn't hit him with the belt. He hit the belt with him.
Yes, the belt hit himself. He
Okay,
hit
but here's the thing.
himself. He hit his.
Here's the thing. Okay, before we got to this match tonight, we're talking about Joe taking L's, and we don't want to see Joe taking L's, and that's fine.
Certainly.
Right? Let me ask a really dumb
Bunch of
question
shit.
with a really let me ask a really dumb question with a really simple answer, right?
Oh God.
What was the
No,
last
no, don't do that. No.
What?
Never mind. Oh, that's
Oh,
not what I
God.
wanted to watch.
Oh,
Oh, that was ugly.
That's gonna be brutal.
Oh, you're watching off time with the
We
AEW
got
stuff.
just the staple gun going right into Hobbs's head.
Oh,
he doesn't
it's
give a
sticking.
shit. You see the
Oh, that
staple
was
sticking out.
brutal.
That was brutal.
I
And
No,
then
mean,
he
you ain't
just
seen nothing yet.
couple
Oh, it's
weeks
getting
ago,
worse.
Mance Warner got his tongue stapled to the ring mat, so I can't even say anything right now.
Exactly.
My point is,
burping
here's the
wisdom
thing,
you.
right?
Yes.
Joe
Right.
Hendry, the last really huge thing Joe Hendry did before this was his match with Randy Orton, correct?
Correct.
yeah.
Okay, would you agree with me? And Jake and I have talked this to death already, so I'm going to throw it out to Cody and Liz. Is Joe Hendry buried because he lost to Randy Orton?
Absolutely
No.
not.
Absolutely not. Liz?
That's a fact.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Now, really, really big moment for Joe Hendry to step up to Randy Orton,
Absolutely.
right, at WrestleMania.
He went
Would
ahead
that-
and got in front of an audience of 60,000 people, not going, "Who are you? Who
Okay,
are
who-
you?" They
here-
were
here's
going,
my point,
"Joe
though, right?
Hendry." They were cheering and chanting and
Here's my
raving
point.
over him.
Here's my point, though. Joe Hendry went in, took an L, still a really huge moment for him, right? Now, would that moment have been any bigger? And I'm saying this with respect to
Oh, y'all are
TNA. I'm
gonna
not.
get to see the part now. Oh, I don't want to watch that again.
Would
Oh,
it have been
wow.
bigger if Randy Orton had shown up at Slammiversary, or if Joe Hendry shows up at WrestleMania?
Oh, Jesus, she just stapled
Joe
gunned his
Hendry's
tongue.
showing up at
Swerve
WrestleMania.
gets a
Yeah, that
staple
would-
put through his tongue
So
by
here's
Mina
my-
Shirakawa.
so here's
He
my
was
point.
speared
Done
by
knocked out.
Willow.
That's
This
even
match
worse.
is insane. Let the bodies hit the floor. Indeed, the
Well,
Young
they're
Bucks as the
super
founding
kicking the
fathers
crap out of
going
everybody
nuts.
right
Yeah,
now.
they are just laying everybody to waste.
Well, I'm watching the feed that Jake has in our chat right now. I don't know where
Yes.
everybody else is. I'm seeing
Moxley
Kenny
and
Omega,
Kenny Omega.
Moxley with the Snapdragon.
Kenny Omega
Kenny-
again, reverse dragon suplex, whatever you want to call it, German dragon, snapmare. Wow,
Get him.
getting him.
Get him, Swerve. Get him, Swerve. Get him.
Oh,
Get him.
Kenny's taking down Mina, excuse me.
Saphir. She's spitting his face.
Mina
dude.
Shafir, yeah, Marina Shafir.
Ben.
I'm shy. It's been a
fucking
lot of
hell,
wrestling in a
bro.
long
Go away,
weekend.
you
She's got
dumbass
blood in his face.
butter
She's slapping him.
asshole.
Yeah, come on, Kenny, suplex her. Do it.
Do it
yeah.
up.
He does it.
Oh, Snapdragon suplex on Mina Shafir. Marina. God damn
I get
it.
where you're going
Mina
with that, though,
Shirakawa,
Spaz,
Marina
but
Shafir.
my thing is, though, like,
Damn my
Trick's a
Japanese
heel,
brain.
Randy Orton is a good guy, so.
What about Inamura
No, that's
coming
fair,
back
but there's
tonight? I thought he got
differences.
fired. I thought Inamura was fired. When he said he went back to Japan, I was like,
Oh,
that
no,
means he's
Samoa
going to
Joe
New
is on the
Japan.
warpath, y'all. Oh, God.
Well, he was never like an NXT person. He was on an
Yeah, I know.
excursion to
Yeah.
NXT from
From-
Noah, and he
yeah.
said he was going back again. But
So that's why I was
mean,
shocked that he showed up. I legit thought he was
Yeah, where
done.
you going?
I was making a joke about him being fired, but fuck it, he comes back like a goddamn cockroach he can't kill.
Where's
Inamura's
this match
back.
going to go?
This match is just going to keep going. And I will
it's fu-
say,
you know what, Jake?
right
It's
off
funny
the
that you
bat,
say that 'cause I
NXT
had-
Battleground has had the better night.
Hold on a
They were
second,
so
person,
damn
who are you?
exciting.
Oh, I know who you are now.
The wrestling
I had
tonight
this-
was so good.
I had the same moment actually on Friday when Candice LeRae came back and joined DIY because somehow I had it in my head that she'd been released.
Right? I know. Well, for some reason, I was like, wait, she's there? Huh? What? No. But Trick Williams leaving tonight with the title. We'll go into the nitty gritty. This is kind of all over the place. We've got Double or Nothing going on live right now in the Discord.
Go in. Go
Oh,
in.
we're seeing they're trying to stop everybody. Swerve and Cesaro, beating the hell out of each other. Battleground
God
was
damn it, not him
excellent.
again.
They opened very well with Sol Ruka.
Fucking
She
hell.
did have her entire asshole out, which not surprising. But she took on Kalani Jordan. Kalani looked like a new woman with those braids. Everybody's got braids, but damn, she looked good. This match was incredible. Like I said, we'll go beat for beat in a little bit with all of it, but just giving you the thoughts. She took probably the best 450 soul snatcher ever.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
incredible. Like, wow, that was the best one yet. She did an insane inverted 450 and turned it into the freaking soul snatcher.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
I saw that on Twitter, but I saw people like debating back and forth whether that's
Is
a
that
good
Gabe
move or
Kidd
not,
getting
because-
involved finally? No,
Nope,
it's
that's
Hook.
the other kid.
It's Hook.
That's the other kid.
I got it on a small screen here. I'm sorry, it's very tiny with a little bit of audio, but it's bleeding
No,
through
but
with the chat here.
Oh, God.
There we go. We got a little bit of audio going through. Samoa Joe just pissed that Hook came out with a golf club like Happy Gilmore. Then we had the Culling taking on Briggs, Hank and Tank. Honk, honk. What a match. That was great. Hank
I don't know
and
what
Tank.
you meant. I had a lot of fun with that match.
Briggs, I loved
Briggs
it.
working with Hank and Tank is a good trio, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and an 8-man is going to be great out of this. You can tell where they're going to add
Oh, yeah.
Inamara.
There's a
Oh,
dumbass
here we go.
Gabe
There's
Kidd.
Gabe Kidd coming out, hitting everybody with the belt in the case. Because no one else does that. Even the
There you
backstage interviews
go.
were
Where are
great.
you going?
Tony D and
I don't
Stacks.
think anybody's gonna win this match.
The
y'all.
match was very good. The story leading up to it I liked, but it was a little disappointing. I'm sorry. It was the ending to this with Luca kind of not turning but turning. So Luca
Okay.
goes ahead and he's just standing there for the distraction, which leads to Tony losing to Stacks. And he gives him like a huge Northern Bazaiku knee for the win. And all of a sudden Luca like comes up and
Where you going?
he doesn't hit him. He doesn't nothing. He just goes to hug him, and then Tony just shoves him away. So it's like, wait, did he turn? Did he not? Whose side is he on? It was very bizarre.
I like that we're asking if he's actually turned or is
we got the
Stacks making-
thumbtacks in Kenny Omega's
good.
mouth.
Oh,
BT
good.
trigger with the thumbtacks.
Oh.
Dear God,
The hell?
spitting blood.
There we go.
Cesaro in the
and
swing.
see,
Yeah, please take
it
us back to
wasn't-
NXT Spaz.
The fact that it was kind of like you say it was anticlimactic. I think we've opened up the question that we
More
know we
confusing.
can kind of ask.
A bit confusing.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like,
My lord.
if somebody read it as anticlimactic, I wouldn't disagree. I'm into the story enough where I'm like, okay, this means like two or
Okay.
three things. Either he's
Sorry
blackmailing
to
him.
interrupt.
Sure.
But I'm lost though because we're talking about two shows at once. Where are we at? Where are we
We're
talking?
talking
We're
about Stacks
talking
and Tony D.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So,
Thank you, my
so
bad.
Stacks
I was
ends up getting Luca Crucifino to come out, and Tony gets distracted by the reveal of him not being dead. He's not swimming with the fishes, and he's kind of like, "Oh my god!" And that's enough for Stacks to get the big knee for the victory. So, distraction option for the win. It wasn't bad. It was just a bit confounding because you're like, wait. Where does Luca lie now? Is he with Stacks? Is he with Tony? Tony's rejecting him. It was a little bit bizarre. It was uncomfortable.
Right.
I think it's gonna come.
Y'all are
It's
screwed now.
it's gonna come down to either he's turned, but he doesn't want Tony to know that he's fully turned. Either he's being blackmailed, or either Stacks has the Riz in some kind of situation. Because you notice that she wasn't there.
Well,
Yeah, Briscoe came out of nowhere. I mean, he's delivering. That poor man lost a
Out of
lot of
nowhere,
blood
a
earlier.
wild
me
Briscoe.
now.
Into somewhere, certainly. But Hank and Tank are always fun. They always deliver. And even with the bit of the confusing ending, it was still a bit melodramatic. But like, I like the soap opera stuff. I like the drama in pro wrestling. I like that they were like the Corleones, the Sopranos, the D'Angelos, like talking about all mob families like they really exist. This type of melodrama, while not for everyone, I think is fun. I'm okay with it. I enjoyed it. We don't have Rizzo yet, so she gets to play in eventually.
Ooh.
Stephanie and Jordan fucking delivered. Good, dear God.
Yeah, I heard a lot about that match, and I
Those
unfortunately missed
women.
it. A lot of people told me you need to go back and watch that.
The funny thing is,
They delivered
like,
a killer. That's right. They were fucking amazing. Those girls, they oh God, what a match. That eat defeat
for the amount
combo.
of time that we've been waiting for Jordan Grace, because everybody, like,
the
and you get
one-on-one.
Girl,
you get
just hit her
but
with
you
the
get
damn shoe.
Okay. You get the negative side of it. It's like, oh well, any day now WWE's going to steal Jordan Grace, but like there's the
Right.
positive and the negative of like any day now she's going to come, she's going to change the whole division. So she's come in with a whole lot of fanfare without a whole lot of fanfare, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
Jordan Grace being, oh my God, this wrecking ball Jordan Grace has come in,
Yeah,
and Stephanie Vacour looked 10 times
God.
the star tonight.
exactly. He did. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, Stephanie, her star exploded here. It was so damn good. I mean,
I love her
that-
winning with the spinal tap as well.
the near fall she got with that sit out power bomb that Stephanie got hit with by Grace. Like I was like, oh my God. And then she kicked out of the SVB at like the nearest of near falls. And I wish they had even more time. I'm glad we got to where we got. Oh, we're getting the shoes with the thumbtacks attached to them because we haven't seen that before.
Oh God.
But yeah, this match just kept going and going. The spiral tap for the victory, like wow, loved it. Not expecting
Because it puts over Jordan as well, because she's been using, and I will say the one criticism has been Stephanie Vacour kind of needs to find a better finisher, because that like underhook, like twist backbreaker
That's
thing,
fair. That's fair.
it always
Yeah.
looks kind of awkward. I don't think it takes away from her as a performer. Don't get me wrong. I like the skull fucking finale, as I call it.
yeah.
But
Yeah, Devil's
she's
Kiss
always-
is mwah.
it's
a move.
Yeah, it's like an angel kiss.
Oh, here
Anyways.
we go. Y'all get to see the ending of the match.
Oh, here we go. Kenny Omega trying to whip out the
I do
one-winged
agree with the
angel.
finisher part, though. I do
Yeah.
agree with that.
Oh my God, the exploding table. That pyrotechnic actually went off. Kenny Omega putting one of the Young Bucks through the one-winged angel exploding table. Swerve does the swerve stomp on the other Buck from the top row with the
Wait a minute, we
shoes that had
finally-
the thumbtacks.
We
Ow.
finally did an exploding thing that actually worked.
That went off. It did
and-
not fail.
No,
Exactly.
But Jake, I'm shocked. Are you telling me they finally figured out how to make an exploding spot work, and the people that run the company made sure it was them that was doing it?
I'm
I'm
guess
shocked.
So
I'm shocked and
consider me.
amazed. I'm shocked and amazed. And
I'm,
kind of
I'm
interesting
shocked and
that
amazed that Charlie Dempsey did not cost Miles Bourne the match. I had that set in my mind as the fucking foregone conclusion. I'm like, yep, that's what's happening.
I'm glad he
Because
didn't.
I'm
man.
glad
like,
as well.
They're,
I'm
they're
glad
setting
we
that
got
up
the
for later
clean
on down the
defeat.
line.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm just used to them kind of bum rushing or jumping the gun on these things. One.
Y'all
And
have the
two-
title belt right there in that case. Why don't y'all steal it? And,
Yeah, no kidding. We don't even know if the belt's in that case at this point, but we
Open
got to
it.
see what
Open it up and
happens.
see what's in it.
I want to know, like, if Charlie didn't turn, they put Miles over here because he looked like $1,000,000. Oh my God, did he look good? And I know I skipped over Ricky Saints coming out. He did a really great in-ring segment. Obviously, Ego Page comes out to attack. They let let Ethan Page know from Ava that he's going to have to defend the belt if he wins at Worlds Collide. So that's going to be great to see that match. We even saw it during the women's match tonight. We saw some
Saw
of
a
the
couple of the
women's
ladies whose
AAA,
names I
yeah.
don't remember. Yeah.
I had them over here
Let's put a
somewhere,
pause on
but
this.
yes.
Let's put a pause on this because I haven't had a chance to hop on with you all weekend because I've been out and about and actually doing
you took
TNA
me
stuff.
to it. I wanted to hear about your nights, plural, at TNA.
Okay, well, we'll get to. Oh, I'll get to that as well. We got like
Yes.
2 other shows to talk about still.
Exactly.
But let's talk about Worlds Collide and how we
Oh.
thought it was initially going to be just an NXT AAA show, and they started off with they're looping in the story about Legato on SmackDown,
Yeah.
where they don't know if they're even staying together as a group because Berto's kind of like pulling away. We've got Andrade helping Berto pull away. That's a cool story. But Santos has this idea now. That the way we get back together on the same page is we put ourselves in a trios match. We do it at Worlds Collide. We show them what kind of luchadors we are.
Yeah.
And let me see if I've got this right. Pagano, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. and Psycho Clown.
Pretty much, Psycho Clown is a big deal down there. So
It's one of those things like the shitty Grey's Anatomy meme. You had me at hello.
yes,
You had me at Psycho Clown.
I'm happy with Psycho
But
Clown.
then-
That's enough.
But then, holy Christ! Let's give AEW a little bit of credit. AEW actually are the ones that introduced me to Vikingo. But now we've got a WWE pay-per-view with Vikingo versus Chad Gable. Let's
I
fucking
forgot
go.
about this match. Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah,
with like
Anarchy 3. Oh, we still have Osprey and Hangman. Yes. So
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, you got a match before that.
do we? Oh God.
Oh yeah, we got
there's
the
more?
trios
Oh,
Yeah,
we've
the
got the
trios
trios
match with
match.
the Palace and Paragon.
with AEW's discount version of Undisputed Era.
Yay. So, yeah,
mean,
no,
And
Worlds
totally forgot
Collide
about
is,
this
is
match.
stacking up nicely. I'm happy with Worlds Collide. I'm looking forward, obviously, to the Vikingo and Chad Gable match. We don't know if, El Grande Americano is going to appear. That would be interesting. So,
El
Interesting to
Grande
say.
Americano.
Cheap plug. I put a little pod out earlier today talking about Evolution,
did.
talking about Worlds Collide, all that type of thing. Interesting to note on the poster for the thing, you got Rey Fenix on there and no Penta, but who else is not on the poster is the AAA champion. So that's going to be a whole conversation eventually.
yes. And apparently he's supposed to lose the belt to El Hingo del Vikingo very, very, very soon.
Nice.
So,
If he like mysteriously
Makes
drops the
sense.
title and then like Vikingo versus Chad Gable is suddenly a title match.
it's
Oh, that
supposed
would
to
be
be.
perfect.
So he's supposed to drop the title, I guess, right before the Worlds Collide show.
Well, here's my question: Why
Del
isn't it
Rio's
El
facing
Grande Americano?
Vikingo like a few days before Worlds Collide. So
But like, okay, here's my thing though, and we're getting into like stupid little logistical things, right? But Worlds Collide is going to be the first, sort of AAA under the WWE banner show. I'm right with that, right?
yeah.
So where's he dropping it?
They said here there's a show that they're having him drop it at. Hold on, I'm trying to find it now. I listened to the audio about it earlier, but he's gonna lose the AAA Mega Championship at where is it? Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide. It's May 31st, television taping in Mexico City. He's gonna defend the Mega Championship against El Hijo del Vikingo. So
Okay, fair
he's
enough.
supposed to
this
lose the
weekend.
title on the 31st next weekend, in between that. So,
So that's going to be a AAA show, but not put on by WWE.
yes. And then they got Wagner Jr.
Interesting.
taking on Del Mal, Macias, Mecha Wolf, Octagon Jr., Fiscal, and Laparca taking on Abismo Negro, Taurus, and the surprise Luchador. They got Ciancin, Ferrastero taking on Psycho Clown and Pagano. A lot of big matches, big names, but
I
they're
wanna
setting
see-
up for Worlds Collide.
I want to see
and
Octagon. I wanna see
WWE's
Octagon versus-
acquisition.
I want to see Octagon versus Pentagon in a special math class match.
Yes, in an octagon
I mean, that would be
surrounded by
good.
a pentagon. I
So wait,
told you I
Worlds
wanted to
Collide.
see Penta, but in the Mexican Midget Federation, so it'd be Pinta.
So Pinta. Oh,
Yes,
dear
that's
God.
right,
Yeah. You did the thing with the wordplay and
Oh
laughing and
God,
such.
I'm in true dad mode this weekend. It had to happen between prom and all the kids being around. I've just been dad joking it up. I like Takeshita. I should give a shit about Josh Alexander, and I'm sorry, he looks like a gay Power Ranger. What is he doing? Kyle Fletcher looks like the Pink Ranger right now. He has this plastic chest piece going on. I don't care about the pink. It's just it just looks really stupid. It could be pink. That's not the color is not the issue. The suit is the issue. It's like split but plastic, and it's like this garb of like that's a lot of ego. That's Seth Rollins level of bullshit.
I was gonna say I heard somebody say a while
Got that
ago
one now on mute.
they're trying to make Kyle Fletcher, like, as far as like all the extravagantness and whatever, they're trying to make him like AEW's Seth Rollins, and I'm like, okay, you've missed the point entirely. It's a bummer because I have so much like background and buildup of respect with Josh Alexander. I'm
Yeah.
not telling people where to go, but you went there, and I'm sad. And
I'm sad
meanwhile-
too because his character doesn't like it. You can't say it doesn't fit, but it doesn't fit. He's not a smooth insert. And the fact that Killswitch is playing right now for the Paragon breaks my heart.
Oh dear.
I love me some Killswitch Engage. Had him, talking back in
I
the day.
don't even have the sound on, so
They still got to bring out Adam Cole, obviously.
baby.
It's all about that Adam Cole, baby. I NXT is over. Battleground was very, very, very good. I do wish AEW Double or Nothing was not tonight. I would have liked to have watched Double or Nothing with a closer eye, but NXT did have my full attention. Mercedes and Jamie Hayter ended with Hayter being robbed a roll-up of all sloppy roll-ups where Mercedes spiked her head. They got a "This is awesome" chant, but I think the fans would have chanted anything at the 21-minute mark. Hayter
Just
seemed
to get them
okay,
to
but
stop.
the way she took that
Hayter
DDT
should have won
roll-up
that. I'm
was
sorry,
bad.
but
Yeah, that was
Hayter
bad.
should've won that.
Anybody facing Mercedes should have won that, but it's not going to happen because
Mhm.
she's got the bruises on her knees and she gives better head than the rest of us.
Well, Mercedes
Like-
should have lost there because it wasn't a title match, essentially. You had the Owen Hart Cup title, but not a real, championship. She's already lost one because she wasn't pinned in a triple threat. Let her lose this, and she could still hold all her titles. Hayter earned it. And then they had FTR taking on Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. So Daniel Garcia has been a waste. They made him the TNT champion and completely just baffled that one out the window. That was horrible. His entire run was marred with just him shaking his hips because he couldn't do anything else. He never had a feud
I will
worthy of a
say, though,
champion.
I don't mind Danny Garcia, but the people saying that, just not just taking a shot at you, but the people that are saying like, oh, they ruined the TNT title by putting it on him. Like,
No.
when was the last TNT champion that you gave a shit about?
No, the point I'm saying is that they didn't ruin the TNT title. They ruined him by giving him the TNT title because one, he wasn't ready for it. And then two, they didn't give him a proper opponent. So he never had a feud worthy of a championship. So he just basically was shaking his hips the entire time, doing that stupid dance that Tony loves.
Honestly,
while being a
about that
champion.
TNT title,
Yeah.
I don't think
it's
that's
a
the
bit
last.
of a joke.
I don't
but
remember the last time I've actually thought about it. The TNT.
Sadly, and
championship
that
is
should
so irrelevant.
be the title for the mid card. Yeah.
Yeah,
The problem
it should be like your
is that
Intercontinental title.
they have three titles that are basically meant to be the same thing. They have three mid-card
Yeah.
titles.
And
I
what
mean,
ends up
I know the
happening-
Continental. I know the Continental is supposed to have like slightly different rules or whatever, but
it really
when
doesn't.
was the last time they were brought up? Yeah,
Exactly. So they all fall under the same banner. So it just feels like everybody has a
I know
belt.
people
Adam
could
Cole has it
argue
now.
like
It's a
WWE
waste.
has the same thing with the United States and Intercontinental. Like it's the same.
it's two
value,
separate brands,
but,
and
like,
they've created
But it's
separation. and that's
exactly
not, that's
separate
not a thing.
brands,
That's
separate
what I was about to
divisions. They have people
Yeah.
fighting for them. Like, look how many people want Dom's IC title right now. We got AJ
Mhm.
going against it, but there's people in line for it. Like, you're having multi-man matches and things are like, oh, Penta wants it. Oh, and so does Finn, and so.
And
There's
I'm
a lot
sorry,
there.
now more than ever, the argument that WWE doesn't do tag team wrestling can kiss my ass.
Yeah, and the Wyatt Six just destroyed a great tag team match on SmackDown. So then we get this tag team match, and they do the announcer thing because they keep copying WWE's homework. They do. I'm sorry, they have been. They did it with the entire, we're going to bring in Zach Gowen because we had the Street Profits randomly and organically take a fan's prosthetic limb and use it as a weapon in the TLC match. So now we have to hire the one-legged wrestler to show you guys up against Ricochet. That was awfully ridiculous, and what it led to was just total bullshit tonight with Mark Briscoe getting cut by scissors. So then we go ahead and we have Nigel return. He could have had a match against Bryan Danielson. He could have had, these title feuds and all these big. No,
Well, Bryan Danielson's head's in a plastic bag somewhere. So,
but at the time when they had proposed the match, he was champion. They could have done it then. So they bring Nigel back, not in a battle royal, but to team him up with Daniel Garcia, baby, against FTR. FTR embarrassed him. They gave him the shatter machine on the outside to incapacitate him, and they made Daniel Garcia pass out to a sharpshooter. I know they want to put over the big bad heels, but FTR have been the big bad heels, and then they turn face, and they turn the big bad heels, and they turn face. It's kind of like that Big Show-esque feel again, where it's just like, I don't really care now. I don't believe you
but
guys.
here's the thing, right?
You've
FTR,
flipped so much on your convictions that I can't believe you.
Who are the two tag teams of note in AEW right now? It's got to be Hurt Business and FTR, right?
I would say Hurt Business definitely.
You know what's something I never
the
knew,
Sons
knew
of
until a few
Texas
weeks
or
ago
whatever
that
are up there.
Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara were a tag team. I wasn't even aware.
Well, that's because nobody gives a single tap dancing shit about ROH.
That's fair.
The TNT title was forgotten about with Daniel Garcia. Nigel did not do great tonight. He did well, but he didn't do great because of how it was set up.
The thing about that is, not only did you not know And I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying like any of
Yeah,
us that
yeah.
because I don't think any of us are paying for like what is it like ROH plus or whatever.
No.
But like, not only do we not know that Dusty and Sammy are champions, but Dusty's a
Yeah.
double champion
Yes, he's a
because
double champ.
he's the six
Oh
man.
wait, he is.
He's
He's
the
one of the
6-man
six-man
champions
champs
with
with
the
the Von Erich
the Von
brothers.
Erichs. Yeah,
Yeah.
See, I'm so behind on.
I haven't
I'm
watched
not.
in
I
weeks
don't
because I
consider
didn't feel
myself
like
behind
it.
because I don't
So
care.
yeah, that's the thing. I have like here's the thing. Back
I wish
and
Sammy Guevara was on AEW more.
I wished
Well, you can thank
there was
Sasha
a
for
point in
that.
time where I truly wished that MJF was going to either NXT or WWE. I was like, oh my God, he would be the bidding war of 2024. I was excited for that. Now he comes
Like
out.
when he
I
originally,
don't give a shit. I
like when
want
he
to
originally
just
had problems
turn it off. Yeah.
when he
and
wanted to leave or whatever. Like
So Ricochet and
I
Mark
think Vince would have
Briscoe,
loved him.
Briscoe gave
MJF.
way too much effort for a shitty match. I mean, he had that full-on fucking red mask by the end. He was covered in crimson from bleeding. And why did this need to be a stretchers match when basically it was like, oh, you just load him in the ambulance and that's not a stretchers match. Whatever. Still, the Hurt Syndicate, Benjamin Shelton, as Hulk Hogan would say, and Bobby Lashley. Maybe he's going by their
Lashley
like
Bobby.
police last name, first name, Shelton Benjamin. No,
Lashley
Benjamin
Bobby.
Shelton and Lashley Bobby. They took on the Sons of
Was
Texas.
EVM there?
It was a stupid
Well, I mean-
match. It was stupid because they had the champs look away while MJF is taunting and basically celebrating, and Sammy goes to dive on the outside and take them out. And
You mean
Benjamin
FJM?
Shelton, he goes ahead and he misses the moment a little bit. He was late, so by the time he hit him, it looked just sloppy. And then they got the win. It was like a big thrust kick. He pins him, and that was it. And I was like, oh. So all the tension and all the hate between MJF and Bobby Lashley was what? They posed together? That was it? Weeks and
And
weeks
fist
and
bumps,
weeks of
yeah.
the down thumb for them to pose together. So what was the fucking point of any of this?
Let me get back to
Well,
that. I want to know the contract signing because I didn't understand the contract signing whatsoever. Because why was MJF having them sign contracts when he's trying to join their business?
None of it makes sense. And
Because they needed to put together a shitty segment and have Goldust come out because nepotism is still a thing, even though Cody's not there.
why would he make the baby faces? We've heard, like Powell said, oh, they won't make the baby faces look good because they're saying they wouldn't make it a title versus title match. Why wouldn't they have taken title versus title if the Hurt Syndicate was so sure they would beat them? So they're saying they don't want the ROH tag titles. They're not worth them
Because
winning.
do you know what the terrible thing is? If they put both titles on the line,
But the Sons of Texas did. They said they wanted to. So why would
but
the
here's the
Hurt
thing.
Syndicate not take it?
because here's the thing, because then you downgrade the Hurt Syndicate even more than they already are, because they're already discount Hurt business. And what you would get is you would have them carrying around both sets of tag titles, and people would complain. And the pinfall would have been on Dusty. So then they would have said, "Oh, well, I just pinned a trios champion, so I'm going to go get the ROH trios champions." And you would have had MJF with an ROH trios belt around his waist.
Yes, so
And
I
it
would
would
have
be
made the
shit.
match
I
with
hate the
MJF
trios
and Bobby
champions, by
Lashley,
the
or
way. I think
MJF
that's
and MVP. The two guys that aren't champs. Then I would have put them in the match against the Sons of Texas if that was the case. Or how about the Sons of Texas not put the fucking titles up on the line during a promo at all? That would be okay too, because now the MJF side has no reason to say no. We don't want your titles. We're gonna
I got an
beat you,
idea.
but why would we not take your titles from you? It was just ridiculous. The
I got an
forethought is
idea.
gone. There's no checks and balances in AEW. What's your idea?
Why don't you put your ROH titles on your ROH show?
That's fair.
Oh wow, that's
My
that's
whole
a
point
deep
about
thought.
my whole point about what I said about FTR a minute ago, because I know people go hot and cold
I'm
on FTR
Steve.
in the ring when they've got a really good feud going. I
How'd
enjoy
that come
them
from?
I enjoy them when they're like properly in gear, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
The only match you really have for that tag team division right now is FTR versus the Hurt Syndicate. But instead,
Boring.
That's boring. And then Ryan the Heel is right, because the Ricochet match he said was great. I don't think so, but I feel like he had facts about the TNT title was forgotten when Danny had it. I agree. Sorry. I'm going to take a little bit away. I don't agree with the Ricochet match being great. I think Mark Briscoe was great, but Ricochet just benefited from Briscoe being so willing to put his body through hell for Ricochet. because Ricochet was a non-factor in that match. He didn't do anything to make it special. If Briscoe didn't kill himself and throw his body around to make himself bleed as much as he did, people wouldn't have cared. It was all of Briscoe's comedy, the crutch, the act of him escaping the ambulance, the fire extinguisher. Every little bit of it was Briscoe's doing. Ricochet could have been replaced by any heel, even in the indie scene, and it wouldn't have mattered. It was Briscoe's
Ricochet needs
match.
to fuck off as well.
Yeah, Twitter
Ricochet
Ricky,
got,
I'm
like,
very tired of. You can't be pro AEW while being a
He got
controversial heel on Twitter as well. Like you
not
can't do
not
both.
not even that. He did what everybody does, but he's doing it to like a mind-numbing degree. No matter where you end up, no matter where you end up in AEW or somewhere else, you leave WWE, and now your gimmick is I'm a guy that used to be in WWE.
Yeah, and sadly, I didn't want to view him as that, but he didn't accomplish a lot in WWE, and everyone said like he
And
got
now we're
held
seeing
back.
why.
Now it's like, oh, okay, this guy can do a few cool spots, but I was never a big fan of the Ospreay match that he had either. You know, I was kind of on the side of Vader, and people were giving me shit on my previous host show because of how I felt over there. I was like, no, you fucking cunts need to know that that's gymnastics. That's not wrestling. And I like comedy spots. I didn't mind the Invisible Man, Invisible Stand because of the scenario that it was in. People can suspend disbelief. It's not on the main show. And the problem with AEW is they're supposed to be presenting the realism in wrestling. So you have somebody cutting somebody open with a pizza cutter, but then you have goofy shit, you know, so you can't have
somebody cutting somebody open with a pizza cutter right next to an ad for a pizza place.
And then the dinner debonair. So, you know,
the dinner debonair was...
AEW fans.
when we go ahead here, you know, when we cut to the AEW review, actually, let me go ahead and switch to that quick because AEW, what's going on in the review over here? It must have been The Rock cutting into the feed again. This happened to us last night. I mean, Paul went ahead and
The Rock gave them the best ratings they were ever going to get.
He watched Saturday Night's Main Event after the fact. He was like, "What commercials?" I'm like, "Oh, you fuck." He got to watch the unedited version, and I'm like, "You're not wrong. In that context, you probably got the best viewing of it possible, and it still was not great."
Who?
My buddy Paul from the channel, the guitarist for
Like,
Black Ridge.
what was he
And-
watching? He was probably fucking pressing the fast forward button on the remote more than he was watching the actual show.
You know,
so we watched a 20-minute show then.
Yeah, probably, right? No, he actually was able to view it later on, like late this morning. So when he viewed it, there was just no commercials on the re-upload on Peacock.
No commercials.
So he probably got done with
Yeah.
it in like 10 minutes.
He said it was like 20 minutes worth of content. It was insane. He was like, I don't understand how it was so short. And I was like, oh, you had no commercial breaks. At least you got that. But it was even still with no commercials, very disjointed. That main event went off in 90 seconds. They didn't even have 2 minutes of fighting before they went to another commercial break. They did the same thing in the opening match with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. I love that they added, you know, Bronson Reed. He's a great third man. Spaz, I was not expecting Bronson Reed to be the third man. I had said maybe Ethan Page or Bronson Reed was not on my radar list, any of it, and I love it. It's a great decision.
I had thought...
The only thing with that is they need to explain the Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed.
See, the
feud
Don
because they-
Callis is a
I
very
think they're
we knew
going
about
to. I
the
think they're
AEW
going to.
writers.
Yeah.
Okay, another cheap plug for my podcast. Here's
yeah,
how,
you
here's how
mentioned it
you
earlier today too. Yeah.
here's how you make that make sense in my head. The way I'm looking at it, for people that don't watch NXT, I don't know who's listening to us that watches NXT or doesn't. A while ago, there was a spot where Braun Breaker needed somebody in his corner and Trick Williams needed somebody in his corner. And I think Trick had like Cena in his corner. Braun Breaker had Paul Heyman in his corner randomly. It was one of those shows that they were really trying to hype up. And Paul Heyman, ever since then, has really sort of gone on and always sort of had his eye on Braun Breaker. So the way I'm looking at this is Paul Heyman is in it for Braun Breaker, he's not in it for Rollins. So Paul Heyman's decided he's found his new next big thing. They're going to use Seth Rollins to help mold him into the next big thing.
Yeah.
They're going to turn on Rollins. It's going to be a Batista Triple H thing.
It's going to be great.
And
I think it's
but
going to
in the
be easy to explain
Holy
too.
shit.
And he
But in the
destroyed me,
meantime-
but you know what? He beat me so bad that I know how sadistic he is. I know firsthand how
I don't even think
deadly
it's
he
that.
is.
I don't even think it's that.
I'm
I
saying
don't even
that's
think
how
it's that.
simple it can be. Like it doesn't
That's how simple it
require.
can be.
Yeah.
But if Paul Heyman is the one that's pulling all the strings,
Yeah.
and he wants Braun Breaker to get a world title eventually, on your ascension, you pick up the mid-card titles along the way, right?
Yeah.
He's already been the IC title holder. He's gonna be a tag team champion at some point. They're gonna do the prototypical
Bronson
faction
Reed,
thing
Braun
where
Breaker, yeah. And
Yeah.
Seth has the
No,
main
but-
title.
but yeah, where
Do you
exactly.
move Seth's group over to SmackDown then, so Braun Breaker maybe can have the.
Oh, the Hounds of Hell are coming
You can
out to
do,
save the
Jacob
day.
Fatu.
No, it ain't just the
Oh my
Hounds of
God.
Hell.
The
It ain't
Paragon
just the
lost.
Hounds of Hell.
Oh, they got
Why?
Ishii too. Look at that.
No, that's not all.
Uh-oh, they got
Hounds
some
of
more.
Hell.
We got to see
Just
who
wait
else they
for
got
it.
coming.
Wait for it.
Oh, they got Hiroshi Tanahashi as well. That's
Why?
a big get because Forbidden Door is coming up, right?
Oh, fuck me.
So they gotta incorporate Forbidden Door. I'm pretty sure.
So people that bought this show tonight paid money for an ad.
For Ishii, and they get to go ahead and see, yeah.
Is it just
that's
me? I don't
exciting.
know how much I really like this match. I don't know. It's kind of a.
The Paragon
It's-
match
The
was
match is
not
over.
great.
The match is over.
Fletcher was good, but I mean, him getting the win,
I know
I
that-
kind of saw
yeah.
coming. Josh Alexander is a solid worker, but he looks like burnt toast in this match. He just doesn't stand out at all.
They
It's
brought
like,
him- okay,
throw
but
him in
here's
the
the-
trash.
Oh,
The thing with
God damn it, that was
Alexander
funny.
is they brought him in, he lost his debut match, and immediately he got absorbed into the Callis family and never to be seen again.
Yeah.
Which extra sucks because he's the
Who
inaugural
in the
MLP
ever-loving
Canadian
heck-
champion as well.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Adam Cole getting his little comeuppance at the end there. The Paragon lost, but Fletcher eats his
Excuse
balls.
me, Denver, Colorado is getting a
Yeah.
4-hour long AEW show? Holy
It was
shit.
all right.
Yeah, they're gonna
The
get
match was decent. I don't know.
high in the
I don't know.
sky. I don't think
What
that
the
was
fuck
that
is all
great.
this?
So no, but you're not wrong, like you said, and you know what, Spaz, that's kind of like the symptom of the cause kind of thing. Like it's going to repeat itself, and they're constantly trying to incorporate these other companies to do the Forbidden Door shows and whatnot, but they never really get off the ground with it. They either consume them or they just use them to the point
Okay.
where it's over.
I know I'm opening myself up to a what about WWE
But
argument
we just
here
had the
that's
TNA
dumb.
title defended on the main event of Battleground on Sunday night,
No, I
and now
understand.
we have a WWE star from NXT being the TNA World Champion. Like, what's their
here-
counter argument now? What do they have to say? Oh,
But
Kenny
here-
Omega
here's-
was TNA champ, yeah, but he never defended it over there. He just took it and ran.
But here's my point though, right? Here's my point. And as I said, you're gonna get people saying, "Oh, well, what about WWE?" And they're gonna probably try to use Jordan Grace as an example, right? How can they do Forbidden Door if everybody that they like from New Japan they just scoop up anyways and put on their roster?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're
I'm
doing
not,
a Fatal
That's-
4-Way for Fighter Fest with Kenny Omega in the International Championship Tournament.
Yeah.
So you got Brody King versus Josh Alexander, Dorada against Hechicero, excuse me. Then you've got Kenny going against the winner of Claudio and Commander. So it'd be Claudio,
No,
it'd
it's
be
a fatal
Josh, and it'd
four-way.
be
It's a fatal
Hechicero.
four-way.
A little.
It's a
Yeah, Fatal
four-way
4-Way, but
match.
you got to
Holy
get the
shit.
3 winners from the other 3 matches,
Has
is what
Twitter
I'm
been
saying.
broken the last few days or what? God
has
damn.
what?
There's been
Twitter
some
been broken
issues.
last-
They've
Twitter's been
had some
fucking-
server problems, so
Yeah.
I've
haven't
noticed.
noticed, but I
I've
always
noticed some
just
things.
have-
Now we're on the main event, Hangman and Ospreay. But yeah, like we said, I mean, WWE is just tonight's Battleground was so damn good. I mean, this week's NXT was phenomenal. I loved it, and like you had said, Spaz, they put the right pieces in the right places. They were all building blocks. They had to go ahead and get themselves built towards Battleground. That's exactly what they
Here we
did.
go, main event time.
And they managed to lift themselves in such a way that really elevated this card. The story of even the culling taking on Josh Briggs with Hank and Tank, had a different element to it because you didn't know what was going to happen with Briggs. So even a throwaway 6-man tag had multiple elements and layers to it.
And see the cool thing about the Briggs story, and it's a very low key, like sort of bottom of the card story that's just simmering on
Yeah.
its own. But if you think about the very simple, like I don't want to say poetry and sound really, really fucking full of myself, but the poetry of him being on one side and his former partner that he lost being on the other side, being a real bummer, and the one that saves him at the end of the day in the brawl after the match is the other partner that he thought he lost. That's like, no, you still got me, I've still got you, I'm still here.
Yeah.
There's a symmetry to that.
You've got me, bud. I haven't left. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and there's many stories to tell. That's what I'm enjoying.
And Yoshi's a lot of fun as well. I like the friggin' splash that he does, where he basically like sits on the top turnbuckle like a phone that's charging.
Yeah, he is great with that. So,
and I mean, respectfully, like face versus face, you could do the two of them versus Hank and Tank for a fun, random one-off title match, like on a weekly episode of NXT.
Yes.
Kind of bummed that they didn't sell this week's episode of NXT, so they had to move it back to the PC.
Yeah, I mean, but it also says more.
If we're gonna,
it says less about the NXT audience, like people are trying to label it as,
more
and more
about
as
the
big picture that they did 5 days in Tampa, and the prices were the same, and this is the same price. Yeah, because you got for SmackDown Saturday night's main event, you got Battleground, Raw, and then NXT would have been the 5th show.
Was SmackDown in Tampa?
Yeah, they had SmackDown. Yes. So it was the whole weekend, and having the 5 shows go all the way through was just severe. And I mean, how much can you tap out of the same market? And you're asking them to pay the same prices for a Battleground pay-per-view of 6 of the greatest matches they've had in months, compared to a taping for NXT, live taping. But you get my point. Like, you know, it's a 2-hour short TV. It's not the same. It's not the same value. And they wanted the same ticket prices. They want $3,000 for Saturday night's main event in Atlanta. I tweeted it out earlier today.
Yeah, but that's for the hospitality and the front
the
row
one VIP pass. No, I get that. That's compared to the $30K they charged last time.
Yeah,
so
you want to know? You want to know what's funny? A VIP pass to the Evolution pay-per-view is like only 700 and some, only like $700.
Yeah.
Well, that's because at Evolution they can only use half the roster.
You get premium ringside seating, a photo op, all-inclusive hospitality with superstar appearances, and a dedicated priority pass. So, I mean, it's not like you get everything. You're getting to sit there and you get to eat and drink with some stars coming out, which is cool, no doubt. But
see, I'm not like, all that stuff sounds cool, and if I was fluid with money, I would do it. But I'm not getting all that shit.
No,
I'm sitting in the 3s or the 5s, and I'm going to get whatever I want to get. I do the Atlanta set of shows that we're getting with Saturday night's main event and Evolution and Great American Bash. Did anybody else notice this? Because I mentioned this in my pod as well. They mentioned the 3 shows that they're doing that weekend. They said they're doing Great American Bash, they're doing Saturday night's main event, they're doing Evolution 2. Yeah. And then the graphic comes up, Saturday night's main event, obviously on Saturday, Evolution on Sunday. And it doesn't say when the Great American Bash is happening. So is it happening midday one of those 2 days?
I'm assuming so. That seems to be what it looks like.
Because isn't that Saturday the Saturday of All Out, or All In rather?
Yes, it is.
It seems like it is.
So double up the pay-per-views on the Saturday and fuck Tony Khan. Sorry, did I say that?
I don't know.
You gotta love it. Happens.
Any of those shows in Atlanta, because Atlanta is going to be a very hot hopping place during that week, because the All-Star game is also in Atlanta around that time.
Jesus, that's crazy. It's baseball in Atlanta. No one cares about that. Not in Atlanta. No, that's going to be nuts.
I don't like smacking my balls
around. And go to Evolution.
People are saying this was their favorite Anarchy in the Arena match. You know, I want to go back and watch more because I was paying attention, obviously, to the main event of NXT more so, and there was so much chaos. But
well,
I don't know.
The
first one is the one that I like the most, the original.
The Anarchy in the Arena match was actually pretty entertaining.
I mean, they had Kenny sending one of the Bucks to an explosive table, and then they go ahead and they have Swerve's tongue getting stapled. I mean, there was some crazy shit. I'll give it to him.
At least we didn't have to put up with the obnoxious return of Burger Kingston.
Everybody's talking about timeless Tony Storm and Marina Shirakawa kissing.
Dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun. Hey!
That was your favorite wrestler, Burger King.
Elevated.
No.
No.
Oh, Osprey!
Whoa, it's all
I get that
elevated.
Kingston's gone through like a bunch of injury shit recently, and I don't wish that on anybody. Not making fun of any of
No,
that.
certainly
Everybody,
not.
let me be clear. I just think he's kind of like Hangman in a sense, where all the quote unquote great big character work that they do is just grabbing a microphone and screaming, "Please take me seriously. I'm speaking very loudly.
Why don't you love me, Daddy? I mean, yeah.
He walked down with the gas can like a fucking retard out of a freaking video game, and everybody like sucked his dick for a week.
You got to go ahead and get the knife this time. Gas can's not enough. They needed a knife. Oh, here we go. We got to
I
get the
know
big
that-
crowd chant piped in. And
Yeah.
remember the sound.
Well, Will Ospreay's had a lot of big matches next Battleground.
Okay, I gotta break this off for a second, right? Because it made me think of something. People are coming for Zelina Vega on SmackDown.
One more.
Wednesday night,
saying that she's like not great, nobody gives a shit about her, da 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 da. They had to put her name at the beginning of her entrance because nobody knows who she is, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, look at the Osprey thing, where the chorus is just people saying Osprey.
Yeah, they have to
And
insert
I like
the chants
Ospreay.
themselves. I love them,
And
but yeah.
I like Osprey. This is not a dig at Osprey. I think the guy's more level-headed than most of the people on that side of the line. But then the other thing of,
Said he went to
Zelina
AEW to be the underdog, and I kind of believe it.
Zelina Vega's a shitty champion. They only gave her the title so that they could get her husband back. And I'm like, you guys are idiots. You guys are idiots. If that was the case, then wouldn't giving Chelsea the belt have gotten you Zack Ryder back? But it didn't, because people can have individual lives. It's crazy. Sometimes they even go outside and touch grass.
That's true.
Hey, let's
mean,
get it
a lot
on,
of people
guys.
don't know
Let's-
about
let's-
that.
Enough of the
Touching
goddamn
grass.
stare down.
I gotta break this off for a second. People are coming.
I'm still rocking out over here. Sorry. Yeah, Zelina Vega's forever going to be given shit, but she deserves a little bit with that 619. I did miss that last night. I didn't see the bloody nose section, so she did fuck her up a little bit with that
No, she broke
sloppiness.
her
Oh
nose.
no, I will say that
She
was
fucked
bad.
her up a little bit. Yeah, she broke her nose.
She
It was
messed
bad.
well. She messed up the 619, and then to make up for it, she just booted her in the face. It was
Yeah.
bad. It wasn't the end of the world like people tried to make it out to be.
So I
And it's
just
like-
caught because I missed the original finish, so I caught the replay, and when I turned, I was like, "Oh shit!" And they kind of cut it back. I didn't see that she hit her so flush and so nasty, or else I probably would have went off a bit more on that. But hopefully everybody in the chat is doing well. Thank you guys for hanging out with all of us here, myself, Liz, Cody, and Spez, reviewing AEW Double or Nothing's main event, Will Ospreay, Hangman Page. The bell is ringing right now.
I'm Steve.
That's my bell icon. Who changed my... Oh, God. Son-in-law over here is fucking... Now, instead of having Undertaker sound, I got a fart. What's that?
Now, they're
Oh,
looking at each other. They're looking at each other very intently.
Yes, the stare down of all stare
All right,
downs,
I'm
Liz.
gonna say something, right? And Jake, I'm gonna recover
You
some
can,
old
you're on
ground for
mic.
us. Cody can jump in if he wants. Liz can jump in if she wants.
No.
This idea that Hangman Page is the main character, or Hangman Page has main character energy. Anybody tell me why that's a thing?
All right, I see Ospreay as more of a main character of AEW,
yeah,
as the
I'm sure.
underdog
I'm not
than
sure.
and Hangman. Hangman's just he's like a constant throughput. He's a narrative you always go back to, but I don't view him. I view him as like a head side character, but not the main character. Certainly, people want to view him as like the guy that all this falls back on because of the Punk stuff. He spent the last 2 years floundering when he shouldn't have. He spent 2 years trying to find himself again when he always knew who the fuck he was. He's a cowboy. He's a goddamn horse. And all right.
Do you agree with everyone's take on Will Ospreay is the best professional wrestler in the world? Is that true? Or
No, I wouldn't say he's the best in the world, but
I
he's,
wouldn't
he's
say he's
certainly
the
really
best,
up
but he's
there.
up there as one of the best.
He's damn
I'll put it out
good.
there as I will never say anybody is the best in the
Yeah,
whole world,
I
because I
really-
know what I have a view of is only a portion of what's going on in the world.
I try
out
not
of
to
the
be
s-
hyperbolic or exaggeratory, so
Yeah.
I try to be
Out of
as
the
like
stuff that I
far from
watch,
contentious as possible with the like, this is the best ever. God damn it.
I try not to. I would say out of the scope of things that I watch, he's definitely top 5 for sure. There's a couple people, and I said this before. I might have said it with Jake. I might have said it on my own pod. There's 2 people that I would love to show up in WWE for a night. One is Ospreay, one is Omega. And people are kind of surprised when I say this, but the opponent that I would have for both of them is the same, and that's Finn Balor.
You know,
I'd
they
love to see
actually
Ospreay.
said
Speaking of Finn Balor,
Ospreay Balor or Omega Balor would be great. Like everybody always says, oh, if they did a real Forbidden Door. And I'm like, well, Forbidden Door is not forbidden because they make a deal so that they can make the show.
Man,
But if they did a proper crossover, I would say
y'all have seen
Balor,
him now.
Balor Omega or
That's
Ospreay.
Well,
about
I
it.
think the
Or sorry,
Forbidden
Ospreay
Door
and Balor.
concept is old. I think they need to get rid of that, by the way.
But it was never a thing, though, because even the very first one, for them to set up the very first Forbidden Door event, it's a lie because to put
But it
that
happens every
event-
year. How is it forbidden?
It wasn't forbidden the first time because if it was forbidden,
That's
it
fair.
wouldn't have happened. That's my
Yeah.
and I know I'm being like really nitpicky about that, but it's one of those things that just sort of sticks. It's like the how heavy are the steel steps? Like they're 500 pounds when somebody gets thrown into them, but they're not 500 pounds when somebody needs to lift them up.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that kind. Babyface rolls out of the ring in the middle of a match. He's just trying to collect himself. A heel rolls out of the match. He's a coward. Like it's one of those things. Forbidden Door was never forbidden because if it was forbidden, you wouldn't have Forbidden Door.
Exactly. And we can't have that be locked away. I am tired of the doors and cage matches. I wasn't listening to all the commentary last night because I was trying to go back and forth between editing, and I was like, oh my God, Jesse Ventura shitting all over the cage match results because Damian Priest walked out the door. Jesse's like, the goddamn door. You can't walk out a door. That's not a finish. Why do they have a door? Damn it. Like, he was so ripping pissed. It was like X-Pac at Hell in a
that's
Cell.
fair.
Like,
I
how
kind
do
of
you
like it though
DQ the
because
match? He's
I
right,
kinda like it
though.
because
I
we
hate the door. It's stupid. It's awful.
But you know what though? If it's one of the modes of winning, then it's one of the modes of winning.
It
I do
shouldn't
like
be,
the
though. It
fact-
shouldn't exist. It's such a physical match where, hey, we're not letting you in or out, and we're supposed to keep outside interference out. So why is there a door at all? Oh, you got to get in. But that's why we lock it.
But here's my thing. But that doesn't keep them out either because a wrestler can just climb over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
And
mean,
that's
the
why we
idea,
had
of,
to
the
have
idea
Hell in
of
a
a steel
Cell.
cage, the idea of a steel cage to keep people out is because you know they're going to get in, and that's how the story always gets told. I gotta ask you before we go on with this. You don't like escape out the door. If they keep the door locked, somebody winning by escape over the top. Where do you sit on that?
I agree with it because that takes a lot of physical exertion. You're not just sauntering to a door, it opens, you walk out. You have to
But-
physically
okay.
climb. You
People
have to
can get
escape.
involved that
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
So-
People can stop you, grab you. I feel like
Yeah.
the door is just a very
Oh, okay,
anticlimactic.
so you're not one of the people that thinks, oh, a steel cage match should be just by pin in the cage. only.
No. You can have
Okay, all
escaping the cage because that's part of the allure of it too. Like I'm getting away from my opponent. I don't have to fight you. I can just. But the door, the visual of just walking
But
through a door
I guess the door
is
concept
very
will
miserable.
works for heels.
Because
Like,
because it
the
looks
easy
like they're
way
taking
out.
the cheap way. It
And
looks
they've
like
always
they're
gone back to the same stupid thing where they've had the fucking door have to
door-
get
the
slammed
door
in somebody's
slammed, yeah.
face, and a lot of the repeats. Chat,
Well,
let me
the
know
thing
what
with-
you think. Do you guys agree doors and steel cages or no? How do you just regular steel cage, not Hell in a Cell, not the
The thing about- the
pods,
thing about
not
the door-
elimination chamber,
The thing about the door is
blood and
like
guts.
you say you get that the door slam spot,
Yeah.
and people always pop for that spot, and you're not going to get that spot if you don't have somebody trying to get out the door. So they
I think
have
there's
it in
a
there as
way
an
for them
option.
to do it without it. You just get somebody leaning up against the cage and you can smack the cage with something. And that does the same effect. I can swing a
Fair.
steel chair at a cage the same way
yeah.
I can slam the door in your face, and it just hurts you
I don't-
because your
I don't-
fingers
I
or
don't
whatever.
I don't think you get the vice effect of having two separate pieces of mechanism coming together.
No,
if
but,
I wanna be
but you
really
get the
nitpicky,
audio
but
of
I
it,
think
so I
that's-
think
yeah.
the fans will still pop. And there's
Yeah.
certainly ways to do it. Yeah.
Of course, but the difference is like a random chair shot is something you could see in a regular match. Things get amped up. You need to get hit with something bigger because it's a bigger kind of match.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out hypothetical.
I know. I don't totally
explanations,
disagree
yeah.
with it. Like they could still because you have to get in and out of it, but they should no longer keep the rule that you can escape by the door. So people might use the door to try and interfere or something, and that's when it gets slammed. So you can keep the spot, but you just would have to
So, like-
eliminate the total.
Like war games where they
bullshit.
do the opposite, and it's like if you escape the cage, you lose because it means you're
Yes.
forfeiting.
Yes, exactly. That's the mindset I want to have. And that's what really worked against Saturday night's main event. The current mindset. Triple H has pushed and really solidified the fact of 5-match get out. So when we have these things and they're marred with constant interruptions, being these
Saturday night's main event
awful
should be
commercial breaks.
Going to be 5 matches because
It's a
like
TV
It
few
was
hours
bad.
compared- Yeah.
No, but
It
what
would've-
I'm saying is that it would have fit. It could have done better, but they were so heavy-handed in the commercials that they needed for it, and people are used to a PLE with no commercial breaks, no interruptions in that format on a
Okay.
weekend,
But
on a Saturday, a
You've
Sunday.
kind of hit on the problem where people are going into Saturday night's main event expecting a pay-per-view, and they've gone out of their
Exactly,
way
yeah.
to tell you that it's not.
It's not. It's a
And
TV show, but they conditioned
additionally-
us so long to feel like, oh, it's Saturday, it's no interruption. So when you have an
Yeah, I get
excess
it.
of commercials, especially compared to even a Raw now, Raw is very limited on
but-
commercials on Netflix compared to what it used
But
to
here's
be.
the thing: why do you have that excess? Because we're so used to Raw now on Netflix,
Exactly.
where you're not necessarily. But there's
They're conditioning us, is my point that
what
I'm
I think,
getting
what I
at.
think you got to remember is there are breaks on Netflix, but we just get to watch the wrestling through the break.
I don't.
So-
I get to
No,
watch
I
commercials.
get commercials during the break. Yeah, so you get to watch the wrestling, or if
Oh,
I use
you
it
guys
at
have
the
the-
end, we get commercials. Yeah, and but it's so few and far
right, 'cause
between, or so delayed.
You guys only have Raw on Netflix. I forgot
That's
about that.
it.
You guys
And
are all
even
in
Raw has
America.
commercials. You guys get to see the action. So
I think it's a tier thing on Netflix. I think
no,
there is a
I have the
cheaper
highest
version of Netflix.
tier. I have it,
Oh, okay.
it's still just if I go back and watch Raw when it's no longer live, then I have no commercial breaks at all for me because I have the highest tier. But when it's live, they have to include the commercial breaks as part of the agreement that
Which
they
I
have
don't
with
understand
Netflix.
because I don't understand that though. Because
Yeah,
you're
I
paying
should
for
have
no
the
commercials,
access
so.
that Spaz has. Realistically, if I watch on a
Well,
VPN, I don't have commercials. So
What I think is funny though is we get little things while you guys are having commercial breaks. Either
Yeah.
it'll be the continuation of a match, or it'll be like some extra backstage thing where they
Where you
do
going?
a Karrion
the
Kross
weird-
interview, yeah.
they do the weird interviews that are
See,
actually
that's-
up in the
see, that-
stands.
see, that's
Mhm.
what
But if I
got
go
to
back,
see when I went to
but if I
Raw,
go
when I
back
went
and
to
watch
Raw,
it
I could
now-
feel that.
Yeah,
if I
you
go
get to
back
see
I
and
want to
that.
hear
watch
your
it
take on
after-
that. With
I wanna go back and
one of
watch-
those things.
if I want to go back and watch it afterwards, after the fact, like when I watched SmackDown when I got home, it's taken out completely. So they've
Yeah.
taken out that commercial break. But what they've also done is they've taken out the content that was made for people like me that was put into that commercial break. So now you don't have
Exactly.
that interview.
So
in
we
there.
don't
You don't have
or
that
the
little
rest of
chunk
the
of the match.
Yeah, whatever it is, exactly, it's gone.
So it's weird that we don't get a commercial break, but the commercial break time period is still taken out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
It is
strange.
a curious case, unfortunately. Yeah, it has nothing to do
Anyway,
with
sorry, I
Netflix
think
tier.
Cody had a question.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
but
sir.
like those interviews they do up in the top where the fans are and stuff. Like I noticed that what you saw with like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, they built the same matchup for Grayson Waller and Sheamus. Then they had the same segment later. Sheamus talking to Adam Pearce, asking for the match.
Oh yeah, that
If
that
you
was
remember.
that was a fuck up they did that week where I think they
They didn't
alternate.
mean to, yeah.
I think they alternated. I think it was one was supposed to go after the other, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna go set you up for a match, and then Sheamus says, yeah, everybody that sees it
noted
kind of
that,
called
yeah.
that out. That was just a timing error, though.
That's all
in
that was.
Because
honesty.
Michael Cole said,
Usually they're better
thanks
than
to
that.
Austin Theory, Grayson has a match against Sheamus, even though we just saw Sheamus ask for it again with Adam Pearce.
Yeah, he made it
Yeah,
flat
the
out.
timing on that one was all off. Yeah.
It was
It's not
messed
great.
up, but I do like the crowd interaction with the interviews. They're short, they're concise. It gets the star over because they're in front of the fans, so the fans feel
Yeah.
included.
It's something
not,
different than backstage.
and they're in a different area compared to normal, so they have the fans more engaged too. Because it's like, oh, it's closer to us, so we got to be louder now.
Yeah,
It's
remember
not
when
just
I
the
went to
people
Raw, I
front
was
row.
right there for the.
Yeah,
I was
you
right
were
there,
you were
right
right
next
there
to
next
it.
to Kathy
even when
Kelly.
they
So
do, even when they do like every now and then, I don't know what makes them choose to do it this way. They'll do an interview actually like on the stage where they come out. But even then, like the background of that is just the LED screen. If you do it up in the crowd, then the backdrop is the crowd.
Absolutely, and it looks
Now
better. It
they
sounds
couldn't do
better.
that
It
in
feels
AEW
better.
because only half the crowd is actually there.
Yeah, exactly.
Adam
You know,
Adam
We
Copeland's
had a
all
pretty
sad
good
now
crowd
because he can't run to the left.
crowd tonight.
Well, it's gonna be like that for WWE too if they don't lower those damn tickets.
I know.
Fair.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
far
true
off,
too.
as we know. I mean, losing the NXT show, as I said before, it wasn't the NXT audience that was the problem. It was the fact of, hey, we're being charged way too much for way too little. Like, this shouldn't be. Look at this. You guys are
So
losing that.
speaking about cost, we've talked a lot about the Worlds Collide show that's coming up with the AAA stars, and I'm looking forward to Psycho Clown. It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely.
They're doing it for free on YouTube,
Yeah, going to be great.
which I think is awesome.
They're really
think
trying
from
to show
a,
off a promotional standpoint. Yeah, it's great.
For people that aren't familiar with AAA, like myself, here's something absolutely
That's
free.
the
We know you've got Netflix, but like it's even freer, I guess you could say, because anybody with you don't even need, like what I said again, going back to my pod, cheap plug once again. You don't even need a TV to catch this show. Like, pull it up on your phone, pull it up on your tablet, pull it up on
exactly.
your pull it up on
Whatever
your
device
computer.
you can. And thank you
Yeah.
all to those watching us on YouTube live right now. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're hitting the like button, please. It helps out a great deal. Hit down below. Make sure you click that bell icon because we'll be live tomorrow for the Raw review. And then we'll be live this Wednesday for Into Somewhere Weekly, covering NXT and giving the news and latest on all that is in the wrestling world. We'll let you know what's coming up for SmackDown, for Dynamite, Collision,
I can
and
already
so on
tell you
and
what's
so
going on
forth.
SmackDown. I'll be there live. So.
You will be there. Liz is going to be our
Hey.
woman on the inside. Look at that. We have to hit a new server now because that one's been blocked. But
Hey.
we go ahead and we've got some interesting TVs coming up because people are going to go ahead and be in person. So we've got a few people in on the inside. It's going to be a great deal of fun having you guys go ahead and send us your live reports. We got everything from Spaz over the weekend, which was great.
Yeah, we did.
We got your
What'd you
personal
go-
review.
What'd you guys think of Under Siege?
I had a lot of
I
fun
didn't
with
watch
it.
it.
It was a little TNA'd at times. They did a few things where I was like, I'm not crazy about it, but it overall was a very fun show to watch and enjoyable. Especially the main event was like it just had that fun feel. I feel like Robert Stone's involvement was a bit heavy-handed at times and was very difficult to not feel like it's got this awful go-away heat. The Tessa
I'm not going to
match
get
went
into
longer
the,
than expected.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into the spoilers from the TV tapings, but the whole Robert Stone Santino fighting for authority thing is more and more convoluted.
I gotcha. So,
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
coming up, speaking of like, you and I had a really loaded week this week because we had 4 pay-per-views
yes,
if you want to include Border Brawl, which was just a stupid fun show.
yeah, you said it was great, really enjoyable. So,
2 weeks from now, we've kind of got the same thing again because we've got Against All Odds and then
Worlds Collide,
and
Money in the Bank. Yes,
I will
indeed,
say,
my friend. Mike Santana, Casey Navarro was a cool little twist, and I didn't hate that.
Yep.
Some people were upset because it's like, oh, they wanted AJ.
Mike Santana was on Battleground tonight.
Yes, which was a good get. So
He's
we'll see
gonna
what
face
he does with
Tavion Heights on
NXT.
Tuesday.
That's
which
going
is
to be a
cool.
lot of fun. Spin the block, getting hit at the end was good. And then AJ, of course, he's fine. He's not injured. It's a miracle. So that was good. Eddie Edwards and Cody Deaner, that was kind of a miss for me. I felt like, all right, it was there to set up the 6-man tag, which was, hey, these guys are usually heels, but now they're going to be faces because they're here right now and they're in Canada.
Were you guys able to hear on television, because it happened at the pay-per-view and it happened at the taping as well, when Eric Young and his group came out, the entire crowd got up singing "O Canada"?
Yes, they came through nice and pitched. So it was a
Nice.
cool moment. And that's how you knew, like, oh, you know, maybe they can see him at his new job at the gas station for Cody Deaner, you know, and trying to laugh at him. And then, of course, it sets up, you know, you guys defending Karen. You know, Hannafin was like, oh, they're all Canadians, of course, you know, and they're talking about everybody being there. So that was cool. Moose even got a really good spear for a near fall, but Icarus ends up making the save. That was a good match. Ash and Heather by Elegance against Spitfire. Foregone conclusion, as we predicted, but still better than expected overall.
I thought the match was really
went
good. I
all
also
out.
used
That
it
was
as
a
my
fight with
excuse to
these
go get
girls.
food.
The way she hit the swanton bomb and pinned Jody, she landed all her weight on her. That was a brutal ending. But
Oh no.
Order 4 was kind of a with the Rascals, Indy, and of course Raj Singh being the mystery partner. That's where I felt like they kind of
Champagne Singh.
I felt like they kind of TNA'd it there because the crowd was chanting, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Let me cook, Brampton," and no one really gave a shit. So that was a bit of a TNA moment for them.
It didn't get a good reaction. I kind of popped because every time they do, hey, there's going to be a surprise, such and such. They typically
You temper
go big.
expectations.
Well, no, they usually go big, or they brought in Matt Riddle one time. They brought in, I don't remember the last pay-per-view we were speculating it was going to be Karrion Kross for some reason, and then they brought in the random guy from New Japan. But I like this because it was kind of deflating and it wasn't the biggest surprise in the world, but it was also somebody that made sense as far as he would want to get his hands on Mustafa Ali.
Because
so I'm like, I can't knock them for a story that makes sense.
Yeah, he was his campaign manager. He did everything for him. And
when he went from being Champagne Singh to being Campaign Singh.
Yeah.
And I mean, a little bit of me says, I've seen Champagne Singh quite a bit at Destiny. Check it off your Spaz Phoenix bucket.
I think that's why you popped too, because a lot of people just didn't even recognize him. And
the people around me were not popping because it was a bad surprise, but they were popping when he said they were anti-popping when he said he was from Brampton, because apparently he's actually from Caledon, which doesn't mean anything to anybody outside of Ontario.
But you guys are like, yeah. So
Ariana and Tessa,
I thought was better than what we got. Pretty decent action. Ariana
I think
really
it's the best
held
we've
her
ever
own.
seen. I think it's the best we've ever seen out of Ariana Grace.
I
TNA
hated
or NXT.
Masha Slamovich and Victoria Crawford. That was a bunch of bullshit. And we knew it was going to be. Robert Stone invalidating Li Ying Lee afterwards by being like, "You don't deserve a title shot," was really weird. So she comes out, she accepts the offer from Masha, and then is told, like, "No, you got to earn it." But we already saw her beat Rosemary earlier in the night, so didn't she?
But the whole thing with that is he was coming out to be the authority figure that says, "Oh, you just don't get to walk out here and demand a title shot."
Yeah,
because that's exactly what Victoria Crawford did.
Yes,
under his tutelage or whatever.
I've always hated Alicia Fox. She was shit. The Hardys match with Leon Slater being Jeff against Nick and Ryan Namath was fun. Again, a lot of fun, good amount of time. And then we got the main event, which I was wrong. I thought the heels would win here and Joe would retain tonight. But we also said it depends on if Joe's the main event or not. If he's the main event, he's losing the title. That's what happened. Joe Hendry got defeated by Trick Williams. You can see that floating in the back. And instead, we saw at Battleground, Trick Williams, there he is with the title, holding it high. He's over this way. There we go. I got the mirrored image. But Trick Williams is our new champ. And we're in the main event still. We have Hangman and Ospreay. Hangman on the top rope. Ospreay getting headbutted off. They're beating the hell out of each other. Big. Wow. Buckshot lariat from the top rope. And he's going for a second on the outside. Hangman wide-eyed going to hit Ospreay with a second buckshot lariat. But, gets a super kick to the face. Damn, this match. They're really trying to brutalize each other.
This is a good move right here.
Hangman hanging off the ropes. Ospreay, shooting star press onto Hangman's hanging body. 2 count kick out. But holy hell, that was impressive. His body was parallel to the ropes, laying over them, hanging on them. And Ospreay hit a shooting star press onto Hangman hanging on the ropes. Hangman hanging on the ropes. Crazy.
The Hangman that is not hung, hanging precariously on the ropes that are stiffer than him.
So anyways, I was surprised that Diener lost. I was surprised that the heels didn't win in the end, and it just felt like a typical Impact, really, like just another Thursday episode, but fun at times. So I'm sure it was more fun in person. Cutter gets blocked by Hangman. I would have much enjoyed it in person. I would have given it like an 8 in person, I'm sure.
Hangman,
well, it was an extra thing for me as well, because as I say, and I know
Brampton, that's huge.
In Brampton, yeah. But No, and I know I use the Destiny thing as a gimmick quite a bit, but there was a lot of familiar faces that I see at Destiny a lot. Emilio
And that's
Albi,
big to you. You have a huge
yeah,
connection with that, reasonably
it's
so.
true.
So
It was also pretty cool that Emilio Albi, the guy that now runs Destiny, the guy that took over from Destiny when Iceman went over to do TNA stuff, was also there.
very cool.
Destiny is off of hiatus. Summer Heat is coming up quite soon, so a lot of people that were at this show were like, "Hey, you're going to be at Destiny in a couple weeks." So there was a lot of camaraderie, and there was a lot of, because they did the pay-per-view first and then the tapings the next day, and the tapings are not quite pay-per-view level.
No,
Obviously,
they're quick, and then you get to see the same people multiple times, and a lot of build up and things around it. I heard Joe Hendry's taking time off as well. So
well, after tonight, I guess
him being injured is reportedly true with his shoulder. So
I mean, fair. And so that all that does is give all the more reason why the loss tonight makes sense, and all the reason that we should give him credit for what he gave us tonight.
With Damian Priest, besides him doing the concerto and walking out of the cage.
Too,
I liked the concerto. I liked him. That was something you learned from Edge back in the original Judgment Day.
Yeah. I really like that as a thing. People are mad that he lost, and it's like, oh, Drew should leave. They're burying him, and that's like, he asked for time off.
He needed to lose so he could disappear. He needed a break, and
plus he just won at Mania. It's fine.
Damn, these guys are really beating the hell out of each other. But I just wanted to check, and the current live count, folks, we're at 6,990 subscribers on YouTube. We've hit almost 7,000. Wow, what a shooting star press!
No.
He misses. What an Oscar.
Oh.
Or Hidden Blade, excuse me.
All those accounts are me.
I know, all you, my friend. So we're right there. We're 10 away from 7,000. Maybe we'll hit it before the night's over. But I just wanted to say once again,
7,000.
Thank you all. On May 1st, we were at 4,000. So we've gained almost 3,000 subs in 26 days, which is incredible.
Jesus,
so
man, I wish I was that lucky.
We're all here hanging out with Jake trying to get the rub.
It's not luck. It's hard work and dedication, Liz. That's what it is, right? And then not having storms kick out our internet. That's the big thing. Poor Liz was taken away from streaming this weekend with her internet and power being out with the damn storm she deals with constantly.
You got a storm. Well, that blows.
It's that time of the year around here for us to get the crazy storms. So
I gave you a good reaction, Spaz. I gave you
yeah, you did. You got it.
I got
Anyways, guys, it's been fun. I'm gonna call it a night. I will leave you with one little tidbit for those of you that didn't catch Border War.
Yes,
it did end in a tie. It did end in a tie.
I was going to ask.
The match that brought it back up to a tie was the main event, the flag match. Between Santino Marella and Nick Nemeth, that was won by Santino with help from the taser that he borrowed from the Mountie.
That's great. Tommy Dreamer having bagged milk popped me as well.
Tommy Dreamer hitting people with bagged milk. I had to tell Guapo about that one because
that was funny. Spaz,
anyways, guys,
what would you give NXT Battleground out of 10? I'm curious to know. I mean, putting you on the spot,
I'm hovering around a 9. Honestly,
it was really that good. I mean, these matches were
even the stuff that fell down is I'm intrigued enough to see where it goes.
I really don't feel like anything fell down, but yeah, please check out Spaz on YouTube. I guessed on his State of Wrestling podcast. We're over there every Wednesday and sometimes on Thursdays. We go ahead and shoot the shit about everything wrestling, TNA, NXT, WWE, some AEW, and then some things from all around the world. But make sure you check him out on YouTube, on Rumble, on Stitcher, on everywhere podcasts can be found. All of his info's in the description box down below. But Spaz, tell the people where else they can find you.
As you said, Spaz Phoenix podcast on Rumble, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. I think I'm still on Amazon, but I haven't checked in a while. Come find me on Instagram or X at Spaz Phoenix. Tell me I'm a dick if you want. Thanks for hosting tonight, Jake. I hope you guys continue to have a great night, and I'll have you on at some point in the week, and we'll talk about stuff and things.
Absolutely, and thank you for all the inside reports, Spaz,
right, cheers, guys.
from you live at the TNA tapings and Under Siege and Brampton chat. Big thanks to Spaz for being here.
Bro.
We appreciate him. Later,
cheers,
bud.
Guys.
We appreciate you being here. Take care, Spaz. Have a great night. Well, I should have given him a little bit of an outro as a send out. I'll just give him the
Oh no, something's gonna happen here.
Oh,
They
you
set
know
this
some
forward.
shemaz is going to happen. Hangman's down.
Oh, there's
Technical
shenanigans.
difficulties.
There's something gonna happen here.
We're going to have some form of
No,
shenanigans
maybe not.
happening.
Never
I
mind.
don't know. We got Hangman heading back in the ring, it looks like. And, oh, big Oz cutter. Oh, and a gigantic kick out from Hangman. Holy hell, that was
Don't let
close.
The Rock find out about that.
No, he would not be happy. He would send us straight to. Damn, Rocky's always around the corner. He's haunting us.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
If you
Come
say
on,
his
Will.
name-
Get him back in the ring
Will,
already.
with
Finish
another
the match
hidden blade,
already.
he whapped his chin off there, but Hangman still
Unfortunately, he
somehow
kicked
able
out.
to kick out. I don't know how he
So,
kicked
Jake,
out
I
of
want to
that.
ask this to you.
Yes,
What
sir.
do you think match of the night was on NXT Battleground?
I would probably give it to the women. I'd say Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vancouver because they beat the hell out of each other. And we'll go back through quickly each match. We'll give you a quick run by run before the night is over. We're just finishing the main event right now of
I
AEW
enjoyed the
Double or
first
Nothing.
women's
But
match.
yeah, I mean, the Sol Ruka and Kalani Jordan were great as well. My favorite, yeah, Miles Bourne was damn good. Made me
my
believe.
God.
But I'm all about the women, Stephanie and Jordan. I thought Jordan Grace was going to win tonight. You know, I was way off on that one.
Well, that was a
But-
total table botch.
Yeah, that is an I am the table spot for sure happening.
No, you haven't seen it yet. You haven't
Oh,
gotten
we got
to
it.
it
I
yet.
got a double picture. Not on my feed, but the other feed over here is a little more accurate. But the one I'm streaming to you is a little behind.
Yeah, that table broke when it wasn't supposed to.
Mm-hmm. It just it wanted to collapse on its own.
Yeah, the table broke on its own. With that, well, I had those two guys both weigh about the weight of those two guys plus the table, and
While we react to this match, I must announce to all of you baseball fans that the Mets did end up winning the series against those big bad Dodgers.
Yeah, what was the score? The final score for tonight?
3-1.
3-1. So what are they in the series now?
So Mets won 2 and Dodgers won 1. So Mets
all
won the
right.
series.
Nice. So this is over. They conquered them. Done and finished. Good.
Yep.
Take those damn Dodgers down. Who are their next opponents? Who are the Mets facing next?
Knock on wood, because the Mets met. They faced 2 of the worst teams in baseball next, the White Sox and the Rockies. But knowing the
damn.
Mets, they'll probably
hey,
probably end up
hey,
losing.
hey, they might be the worst two teams, but you can lose to them just as easily.
Yeah, you could.
why I was saying
And
the Mets-
look at
the
this
Mets
here.
met.
Here's the table spot Liz was talking about, Cody.
Yeah,
You're
here's the
gonna.
table spot.
That's gonna be
Let's watch
unfortunate.
this.
Let's see if somebody got hurt here. Oh, they lucked out. He lifted him right at the right time. If he didn't, the struggle collapses that
Was that
table.
botched or
That was definitely a botch. That was they
this
up.
is why AEW needs to have
Oh
Maybe
my
before
God,
a
are we
match,
gonna end
like,
it like this?
imagine we get a 10 count with them on the outside here.
No. The match is still going on. I'm just talking about how this ending is gonna go here.
Oh, it's gonna be some big. I'm still gonna say Osprey. You got to. We'll see if the server comes back on this side.
Oh, I know where this is going.
You might be.
Oh,
We
he just
see
flipped him off.
Osprey
Cool.
gets just
Oh
driven
my
down,
God.
Deadeye on the broken table. He's being just decimated by
Oh,
Hangman now.
That buckshot lariat. Oh my God.
No, we know what's coming. Buckshot's coming
Oh
up.
my God.
We'll see what
Oh
happens
my
here,
God.
but I think
it was a good one.
will Hangman get the
He gave
win
him a-
here? It seems like it could be a certain
He gave him a
outcome.
good one.
Oh,
You know about giving good ones, huh, Jake?
you guys haven't seen it yet, but you're getting ready to in just a second.
Or we're
Well,
not
once
allowed to talk
Osprey
about that
gets
on
to
the
the other
show?
side of the ring first. Man, these guys are just killing each other right now.
Yeah, they're still tearing each other up. Osprey getting up at the top here, going ahead and just pulling out every bit of energy he can, trying to get himself up, trying to will his win into existence, but we don't know where it's gonna go. We don't know what's gonna happen. We've got to see it, but we're not so sure. We know.
This match has been a classic.
They're stripping off the elbow pads now. They're going into the classic stance. Osprey knows that he wants her to be done.
Oh, watch this lariat is just insane.
We've got the crazy buckshot coming up here. Yeah, I mean, it is cool to see the Ops, Swerve, Kenny, all of them together, walking out of the ring, kicking the briefcase away. Osprey and Defiance flipping off. Oh, but one of the best inside outs. No, I saw a better one earlier from Miles. 1, 2. Oh, but Hangman can't get it done. Osprey kicked out of it.
Oh man, this match is insane.
What do they say nowadays? You can call this match absolute cinema.
Cinema. Oh, I don't know if I go that far. They've got.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this match is probably the best match of the whole show.
I assumed it would be. I figured the main event certainly would be. They were going for it. I mean, he had that buckshot laid in thick. He wanted to go ahead and take
It
him
is
out.
a great match, but just I'm not going to say anything yet because AEW can AEW and find some way to
they didn't NXT it tonight. They didn't TNA it. Now we got to see if AEW's it. We're still seeing them fight on the outside right now. When going through your head, Spaz, you just go ahead and hit mute. That's the key to life. That's the success that we know, right, Cody? Another big buckshot going for it, but hidden blade. And now,
oh my God!
He hit a big Stormbreaker.
What I think he's gonna do?
With a kick out.
No.
I mean, these guys, false finish after false finish. What do we have left here? Hangman and Osprey just going through it at this point, laying it all out. I mean, what is left for them to do? How much energy could they have left? He goes for another buckshot lariat, gets hit right into a hidden blade, right into Stormbreaker, up, over. Thought maybe he was going to go ahead and pull out Shades of Old, but that's not what we got there. Thought we were going to go for the Tiger Driver to finish it. These two still motionless in the ring.
No, the show's got to end.
Trying to bring themselves back up.
Oh my God, this is insane.
Fans chanting, "This is awesome."
No, now they're shouting, "Fight forever."
Now fight forever. At least the fans in attendance tonight have been great. They've been crazy.
And to sponsor the video game.
Right? I mean, there they are, as we said, from the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona.
Are you fucking kidding me? You let him win?
Here we go. We're going to see what happens. Hangman Adam Page getting decimated. Osprey lines up the trigger. He's got the finger on the gun of Hangman Adam Page. Hits the ropes. Goes for it. Knee to the back of the head. The knee strike's laid in. Liz, Cody, this could be it. We're seeing him pick him up. Could have happened. Osprey gets him up. He wants to hit it.
Then crash.
Yeah, with our luck, but that's all right. We're hitting the ending now. Hangman getting the reversal.
Remember that happened to me I was pissed. Remember, I told you that happened to me with the John Cena heel turn shit. My
Yes.
Wi-Fi shit the bed.
Wi-Fi shit the bed and died. My prediction TV said for Ospreay's win in Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, it is good enough. Let us know. Oh,
My Wi-Fi couldn't even handle Cena's heel turn. They were just.
yeah, if Ospreay won, it would be good enough, but
So who won?
we're still at the fight forever chant here. We're way behind.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, the match is
so
over. I already know who won. So
we'll find out ourselves here if
We're getting there
stream.
shortly. If it wants to cooperate, we'll see if it's pulling through. We got reloaded. It's been a crazy night indeed, Cody. I mean, all in all, AEW has had some crazy shit, as we mentioned. I mean, Anarchy in the Arena, we knew it was going to be nuts. We knew it was going to be a spot fest. It was good. Goes for the Heyman, gets a huge reversal.
See,
Goes
it's the
ahead,
same
picks him
people that
back
complain
up,
about John
goes
Cena
for
and Randy Orton's
Stormbreaker, big boot,
overbooking
another lariat.
that love Anarchy in the arena.
Yes.
I don't understand.
I'm with you there, my friend. It baffles me at times as well.
Nope.
Anything want to work? No, not with us tonight. That's all right, chat.
Okay, so who won?
And Hangman wins. He gets the final lariat, takes down Ospreay, and they give it to Hangman. Oof. Tough loss for Ospreay there. I mean, Ospreay doesn't look terrible in defeat, but yet again, Ospreay's just not able to get the job done. Yet again, Ospreay.
Sorry, I couldn't get the job done tonight because I'm everybody, so I'm Will Ospreay.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Hangman ain't gonna beat Moxley. I'm sorry, it ain't happening.
Oh, I think Liz got turned down here. Here we go. Yeah, no, I don't think Hangman is going to beat Moxley either. They're clearly waiting until we go ahead and see. Likely they're waiting for Darby Allin to return. I feel like that has always been the plan. He climbed Mount Everest.
Yeah.
That was a wild match. What's going on, Swerve Show? Hopefully you're doing well.
Oh no.
all in
Oh God,
all-
Hangman's going back to the ring. Oh no.
Oh, you have to clue us in. We clicked off. You let us know whatever comes of it if Hangman decides to
shake
punish
hands.
Ospreay or if anything else wild happens. But all in all, tonight I would give NXT Battleground an absolute.
Oh my God, Shane McMahon!
A 9 out of 10. I would give that show from top to bottom a certified must-watch. As we said, Sol Ruca defended her
are they gonna
NXT
do?
North American title against Kalani Jordan. Fantastic match. Even though Sol Ruca's soul was out for the entire match, she beat her with one of the most perfect soul snatchers off of an inverted 450. Incredible. Extremely innovative, very intense. Love this match. They got Zarya kicked out for basically pushing Soul out of the way from one of Kalani Jordan's, top rope maneuvers, and it was just a good bit of story. Zarya doesn't feel like Soul can get it done. She's got to keep getting involved. So we're going to see the dissolution and breakup of them, maybe a little sooner than I wanted, but that's all right. We got Tavon Heights announcing he's going to have a match with Santana, who was there in NXT in the back. So that was awesome. The 6-man tag.
Shook hands.
They shook hands. Look at that. Hank and Tank, the tag champs in
Like I
NXT,
said.
teamed up with Josh Briggs, and they took on the Culling. And I thought that we would get the heels to win here. I thought that Briggs would get pinned and try to get pulled into the Culling. Not what we got. So Tank gets the fall with a huge power slam with him on Jensen. And basically, then they get attacked by the Culling, and that's when Inamara makes his return, starts swinging his chair, takes everybody out, and saved the day.
That was
so
fun.
Sean Spears and the Culling got their ass beat, but I think they're going to get their revenge. I don't feel like they're buried or beaten here too bad. Tony D and Stacks, this was a very good grudge match. Personal, they're beating the shit out of each other, throwing hockey punches, not worked fists. They're beating the snot out of one each other. The problem is that we get to the ending and Tony D basically drags Stacks up, and that's when Stacks tries to apologize. And then he puts him on the bottom rope and he curb stomps his arm. And then he hits him with a spine buster, and he's about to get the victory. And Luca Crucifino, who's not swimming with the fishes or hiding on Evolve, he shows up. He's not dead. I mean, who would have thought? Tony D's distracted
he's
by
not?
the reveal, and Stacks, with the referee distracted as well, hits the low blow. Tony D gets given a big Bazaiku knee, and Stacks gets the win. Luca comes in, tries to give Tony a hug. Tony shoves him away. It's confusing, bit of a mess, but I'm okay with the mafia stories and the
That happened
melodramatic
between me and you last
mafia.
night, The
Yeah,
hug and
but
freaking
this
shoving.
they invested weeks into this for such a lackluster ending. So that was a bit of a letdown, but the match itself very good. Then we had
They could have
match of
came
the
up with a
night.
better outcome there.
I
agree,
think they could
because
have done a
I've
little
seen
bit
the
more. They
highlights and
should have
stuff.
had
They built
Luca
that up
turn.
so much, like something big was gonna happen there. But
have Luca turn entirely. Have him already be with
100%.
Stacks, or have him be with Tony. Don't none of this in between. Like he
WWE has
shows
this
up
issue lately
of
where they
being a bit
fucking need to
unsure.
drag.
Yeah, they need to push
just
go
get to
on
the
this
point
one. God
sometimes.
damn it, I agree with you. Push
Main
go, get
roster
the
and
gas
NXT can
on. All
both have that
gas, no
problem.
brakes.
Yes, sir. And
You're right. Absolutely.
I just don't think every storyline needs to be fucking drag.
3 years long. Yeah, exactly. And you don't want I don't want Soul and Zari to turn on each other, but it didn't happen instantly. They've had this little bit of slow dissension. It may not happen this week. It may take months and months. You never know. But I really like them as a tag team. I see a bit more of them together. But with this, I mean, Luca was with both Stacks and Tony and the family for a long time now. For him to be, oh my God, I'm shocked you're alive, and that cost him the match. Well, he's not going to embrace you afterwards. So it's odd to have him not be the heel. It's not the worst ending, obviously. It's easily explained. They can fix these things. Didn't ruin anything. It was just a bit, it took me out of it. Stephanie and Jordan, goddamn, I don't want to spoil much of this with the breakdown. Just go back and watch it. Excuse me, so brutal.
I will.
Stephanie,
I need to see this match, and
you're gonna love it.
That on Wednesday when we do our somewhere.
She's trying to go up top for a spiral tap, but then Grace grabs her, and Stephanie basically hits a huge back fist, dumps her off, and then hits a spiral tap and gets the victory. So you know the ending, but you knew already who was going to win. Amazing match, a good solid 16 minutes.
A lot of people called me crazy. They said you should have fucking turned off that Mets game for this match. This was a fucking show.
This match, I mean, Grace has been a very solid worker, and I mean top tier solid. Not like solid.
Was
like,
this
okay,
better
no.
than Bailey and Sasha? Like people are comparing it.
I don't know, but it was damn good. Bailey and Sasha is more iconic, so it's hard to view it in a different lens than that. This is less of an iconic match, but a very good match. And they're both faces. There was no turns at the end. They embraced that kind of thing. I mean, they had a bit of a schmoz afterwards with the ladies from AAA, Chica Tormenta and somebody else, and Emery and somebody, and Psycho Clown, like you said, and everybody else. So that's going to be for Worlds Collide. That'll be a quick thing. And then, of course, we got Obafemi taking on Miles Bourne. Right away, I thought my prediction was going to come to fruition because the No Quarter Catch Crew guys come out, but Charlie Dempsey doesn't give him a fist bump, doesn't go ahead and shake Miles' hand. He doesn't reciprocate in any ways. He looks jealous. He looks angry. So I had envisioned him coming out and costing Miles the match to protect Miles, but Miles went for Miles, and I'm all smiles. This was a amazing championship debut for Miles Bourne. Mini RKO chants coming out were fun. He looks like Randy, but he certainly doesn't wrestle like him. He puts his body into every moment. He got some really good near falls, especially the German suplex into the frog splash was really great. And then at the end, it's just Obafemi. He gets him up and hits him with that big inside-out clothesline. And that was probably one of the best inside-out clothesline sells I've seen ever. And I legit mean ever. Better than the one we got in the main event on AEW tonight even. Miles not only did the full 360, but sold the impact of the move in such a way where it looked like it knocked his fucking head off. So impressive. After that, Oba goes ahead and hits him with, the first jackknife powerbomb. He kicks out. So now he hits him with two this time, gets the win there. And I mean, Obafemi just hits you with the biggest clothesline, two, the lariat, and then two jackknife powerbombs. You're done for. Ask Cardi B, because she's going to be hosting SummerSlam. You're done. She'll confirm it.
Oh, wait, she is hosting SummerSlam?
Yeah, she's hosting SummerSlam. If you haven't seen that ad 1,000 times, and everybody's saying like, "Oh, this absolutely was the foregone conclusion of the night." You know, we knew Oba was going to win. I didn't feel that way ever. I felt like Miles could have had a chance. We saw Trick win. Anything could have happened here. I feel like, hey, you don't know. What if they move Obafemi up right away and go? He's ready. He is. I'm sorry, he is. And you can have heel or face Obafemi go up, and you're good. I think that this is something that they're going to build up more to it between Charlie and Miles, and of course Obafemi keeps going on. He's going to destroy everybody in his way. And then we got Joe Hendry and Trick Williams. Excellent match. Comes down to Trick cheating in the end, so it protects Joe Hendry. Joe loses by first getting taken out by a knee to the back after the referee's distracted. He comes down onto the title that, you know, Trick had basically set up to happen, but since he didn't hit him, he hit himself with the belt. It's not a DQ. The ref allows it, and he ends up hitting him again with a Trick knee, pins him. Joe's 1, 2, 3 on his ass, even though we all still believe. You know, I believe in Joe Hendry. I didn't want to see Joe lose either, but Trick was the right choice here. He was so over.
I want to go back to that debate that I was having with Spaz before.
Yeah.
Like, what was your take on it? Because I personally think because Trick Williams is the villain that he should have won it in enemy territory. Because
no, because he's not a TNA. Even though he's the heel, he's not a TNA star. He's a WWE star, and he just got the TNA title for the WWE locker room. Like, he procured that from another company, and for the first time ever. So that's a huge deal. And it's something like, hey, you did it for the boys. So now when he goes over to TNA, he's going to be viewed as a shark there. He took away a meal from other men's mouths there. People are going to have a problem in storyline with Trick. I think he should have won it here because it's a homecoming for him. He brings a new title back to NXT on an NXT show with him. I think it's a great choice. I'm happy.
Fair enough, but like,
it wasn't overdone at all. I mean, we didn't have any other heels come out and cause problems like we've seen Dark State do. They could have done a lot here. They could have Elijah. We just saw the tag match. They could have had Frankie Kazarian get involved. All of these would have worked, but they didn't. They kept it simple, stupid. They gave us that great mwah kiss. And they allowed Hendry to basically, now Trick can say, I didn't cheat, but he used the belt, right? Well, he threw you onto it, but you didn't really see him use it. So Trick has an out, even though Hendry does as well. Such a good match. Great back and forth. I thought Hendry actually had it won at one point and surprised the shit out of me. It didn't happen that way. So
after I saw the TNA president at ringside, I changed my stance. I'm like, okay, Trick's winning this, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you had at one point in time Trick do the spin-a-rooney, and he did the turn right into a standing ovation. Yeah, standing ovation from Joe Hendry, and it was just so perfectly executed. A great timed moment. A lot of fun. Booker T popped for it, and I was just extremely excited to see that happen. So, all in all, I would say absolutely go back and watch NXT Battleground. 9 out of 10 overall from me. Very, very high praise.
At least I got to watch the main event. I need to watch everything else, though.
Yeah, then we'll get your full score on the Raw review tomorrow. Liz, I don't know if we got your score for NXT Battleground or if you have one formulated yet. But
it's not a 9 on my book. Not a 9 for me.
No, I didn't think so. What are you looking at more as a score then?
I don't know. I didn't really pay attention enough to I was watching AEW.
You were more focused on AEW, so that that we're going back to. I'd give AEW maybe like a 7.5 tonight. Mercedes and Jamie. Damn, the wrong woman won, and they had a decent match too. I mean, you got the crowd chanting, "This is awesome," but Hayter, she blasted Monet with a huge, Huge
And you
lariat at
should have
one
won.
point for a near
That whole
fall.
match was just all. I was like, come on. And I was like, why you can't? She kicks out at every goddamn thing.
Despite the anarchy, this was one of the longer matches of the night too. It was 21 minutes compared to, besides the
Yeah,
main
it
event.
was a very long. It was a long match.
Mercedes always has these cinematic length of matches,
I
and
wouldn't call it cinematic, but whatever.
I mean,
I'm not a
she's a
fan,
great
clearly.
wrestler. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
take that away
my
from her.
hairline is still more impressive than hers with those wigs at this point. I agree.
Well, I never
something's
have
missing.
been. I've never been a fan of hers in the first
mean,
place.
Even as
so,
Sasha, yeah, I didn't like her then. Her ego, her attitude, her even
I
her
actually liked her
work
more
rate.
as Sasha, to be honest.
I
mean,
did like her more as Sasha, but I still liked her very little. I got into it before. I felt like Nigel and Daniel was a total waste. Nigel was forgotten about as TNT champion. He didn't do anything to elevate himself with the belt, and therefore he fell down the ranks. Him being with Matt
Nigel match
Menard felt like a
that,
waste.
that,
and
that match went on too long.
it was very long, and on top of it, it was 22 minutes. It was a minute longer than Mercedes, and it went nowhere. So it all ended with FTR being the bullies,
it went into somewhere. I mean,
it did into somewhere indeed. It was basically Garcia passing out from a sharpshooter after they incapacitated Nigel with a shatter machine. So, yay. Ricochet and Mark Briscoe, as I said before, this was 150% on the effort of Mark Briscoe. Everything that he did, he sold like $1 million to make Ricochet look great. And Ricochet, I feel like, did not do the same return. It was all about, Jay drillers and fucking huge spots from Briscoe. Mark is just bleeding like a stuck pig at one point from his head. But he made the fans believe. And even the silly spots with him with the crutch and the fire extinguisher out of the ambulance. And it basically tries to hit him, but then he gets hit with the scissors and he runs to the back of the ambulance and he low blows him and then hits him with the spirit gun and then he basically throws him into the ambulance and that's it. You see the blood on the ground with the scissors. It's a great shot, cinematic. And I mean, besides the incredible crimson mask that was Mark Briscoe's forehead, none of this feud felt like this was a necessary conclusion. We didn't need a blood feud between these two. So
right.
It felt like such an extra for a non-requirement of a match. Then we had Bobby and Shelton Benjamin, good old Lashley, Bobby, and Benjamin Shelton taking on the Sons of Texas, Mr. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. The AEW tag team titles are on the line, not the ROH tag team titles, even though they tried to put them on the line. Decent match.
Not the HOR.
No, not the HOR. And we get to the end and it's like, oh, all of the tension, all of the problems, all of the weeks of MJF not being allowed into the group by Bobby Lashley just for them to, it was a swerve. It was like, now they're schmozzing together. Everything's perfect. They're, flirting with the crowd and taunting. And that's when Sammy goes to hit them from a launch to the outside. But Shelton Benjamin
Guevara
stops him
Sammy's
with a
such
knee
good
thrust.
wrestler, huh?
He is. Guevara Sammy is good. And they got the knee thrust. They pin him. That was it. Again, really, really just a disappointment.
3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 right?
Yes. And ding, 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 indeed. Where'd my bell go? Then we got Okada and Bailey. I'm not a big Mike Speedball, 8-Ball Bailey fan. 8-Ball and Okada, you knew it was going to happen. It's all coming down to Okada and Kenny anyways at All in Texas. So to me, this was a severely bad foregone conclusion. Okada and Bailey, blah, blah, blah. Bailey got beat. Okada retains with the Rainmaker. Who didn't see that coming? Whatever. I mean, it's just, this was not for me. Okada has not looked like himself at all since coming into AEW.
Cinema?
It was not. What tried to be was Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, but this one again, it felt long, and it all came down to them getting a big kiss at the end. They were both on their knees. They stand up and they embrace and they kiss, and then she drops to her knees and then she kisses her injured knee, and then they get the belt and they celebrate and they make their exit. And it was like, so all of that hate to make them kiss at the end. Now they love each other. Like, it's whatever. I like Tony Storm and the character, but this, like I said, jumped the shark a long time ago. The whole acting thing was silly with Mariah. Then we got the Anarchy in the arena match. They started off playing the Founding Fathers, the Young Bucks, kind of like a fife and drum corps sound, which then went into, what was it? Let's get this part. Oh, no, I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters. And then they had Drowning Pool Bodies play again and again in the arena. They stabbed each other's with forks, and they went through tables, and they had thumbtacks in the mouth.
Jake, I gotta ask you.
Yes, sir.
Were you excited like that song was playing?
I was not so excited. I'm not big into hardcore matches. I'm not. And seeing light tube spots and thumbtack spots and how much pain can one man endure when it's not a story, when it's just the spectacle of, oh, we're going to do this because it hurts. Oh, please help Willow. You know, you hear them chanting because, you know, it's like, Jesus, let's do something. She's chained to the post forever. That felt like a very long, non-paid off waste. They did the EVP trigger, like I said, to Swerve with a mouthful, or Kenny, excuse me, with a mouthful of thumbtacks. Eventually, we got some more offense to help out. But then Gabe Kidd came in, and he's beating the shit out of everybody. Mark Briscoe, he drove in on the ambulance and came in and got everybody. And
no, the ambulance was out there from the start of the match.
Oh, it was still out there. Okay, that's what I thought I missed. I thought he came in on it. So
no, he came. No, Briscoe came from the back.
He came from the back. Gotcha.
He jumped off the stage.
Then they hit. You know, Kenny Omega hits Matt Jackson, not Nick, with the one-wing angel off the stage, through a table with pyro set up underneath the table. Looked cool, but
Jackson,
they finally got
that.
it to win. Yep. And then Swerve hit the double stomp with the thumbtack shoes on Nick Jackson, the other founding father.
A lot more than that, but I mean,
but that, you know, yeah, there's more to it that like I said, I'll have to go back and see the other spots, but this was never something that I personally was going to be crazy for. I want to like it. I will go back and give it a full watch. But
the funniest part was when Joe came up from behind Claudio, because nobody knew where Joe was, and he came up at the beginning of the match when the match got started. Nobody knew where Joe was. He popped up out of nowhere behind Claudio,
pulling the Jason Voorhees, stalking him.
It was hilarious. All you saw was Claudio standing there like, yeah, let's go. And all you see is Joe Pope beside him like, hey.
Now, the crowd was spent after this match, and they still had a damn trios match with the Paragon taking on the Don Callis family with Lance Archer. So we had Fletcher, Takeshita, you know, take a shits out there with Josh Alexander.
Okay, I'm sorry to
covered this
I know
more
we need to
live.
Get to the review, but like,
yeah,
what matches would you have removed from the show?
I would have absolutely removed this match. I would have saved this for TV. This would not have been a pay-per-view match for me.
A few of these matches were just unnecessary to even have on the show.
These guys, they got screwed because they were put in the worst spot possible. The crowd was so drained after singing all those songs and screaming bodies, you know, all the lyrics there. And then it's like, all right, cool. We get a Tanahashi unadvertised appearance, but it's just, you know, we got All in Texas in like 48 days. And then you want to go ahead and sell Fyter Fest on June 4th. I don't care about the International Championship Tournament. I want to know about All in Texas. Set that up. Don't worry about the little things in between. So I would have definitely taken that match out with the Paragon.
Doors before All in Texas.
Exactly. So I mean, they have so much to build to so quickly. Just kind of like what WWE's been doing as well since Mania. I probably would have removed the tag team match with the Sons of Texas and done that on the Dynamite as well, especially with the payoff at the end. And then we had a very excellent main event. I mean, this was already 5.5 hours long done, and now they have the top of the hour for this match. And this one, I think, went on for roughly 40 minutes, just about.
It went on for a while.
I mean, it was outstanding. Of course, you were going to get these guys really kicking the shit out of each other. They delivered a hell of a main event. Just the story wasn't there for me. I wanted to see Ospreay win, of course. I definitely am pissed that Hangman won. I did not feel like he deserved it. His character doesn't deserve it. The way he's been portrayed was not needed. It was a 37-minute match here. And even that was way too goddamn long. Yes, they had some great spots.
What does Ospreay do now, though? That's the thing.
That's again the problem. Ospreay's not going against Moxley, and we don't want to have Moxley beat Ospreay. Okay, but I guess you could have saved him there if he was going to lose.
Ospreay beat Moxley, for God's sakes, and get the goddamn title off.
He's already Mr. AEW. I mean, when it pisses you off and I'm out of fucking happy pills, I don't understand why. Yeah, I don't get why they're having Ospreay not be their top guy, their, Roman Reigns, their Stone Cold, whatever you want to call it. He should be super
Instead of waiting for
over.
goddamn Darby Allin to get off a goddamn mountain.
And I know they want Darby. I know they're pushing Darby. They're waiting for Darby to get back and be healthy and deal, with himself and get over all these other injuries. But where does Ospreay go from here? Because it feels like he's constantly forgotten about, constantly let down. And it's like, oh, we need to merge him out to have him do this and this way. All right,
You could have
great.
had Ospreay versus Moxley at All In.
Yes,
and that would've been-
Ospreay is always the guy that they march out there when they need a big moment, a big match or something, but they can't give him the title. They can't give him the main event spot besides tonight, but I'm saying like the main event caliber push that he needs to be in that spot. Instead, it was just the tournament final. And the problems with the tournament as well, we have a face versus face ending here with Hangman, and all the shades of gray that they've had with Hangman confuses his character with people. I mean, we have him burning people's house down, and then he's a good guy again. It is weird. It's bizarre because it's never been properly explained. It's all shades of gray.
I'll tell you
Bizarro
one thing:
world.
if Hangman doesn't win at All In, then I'm like, what was the point?
There's no way Hangman's winning. I think they're going to wait until closer to probably the wait to the year out of Wrestle Dream, and that's when, or as soon as they can get Darby to get the title. It always felt like they were waiting on Darby Allin to come back, and once they got him back, that was the plan. We'll get Darby to do it. Because why else would they have done it in this way? It always felt like they were building back to Darby Allin. They took out Darby Allin on the stairs. They threw him down the stairs at that show. He was destroyed, and he's been gone since. That was like that New Year's Slam show or whatever when they were at the arena and they threw him down all the arena steps. Oh my God! And thank you all tonight who tuned in. Hit the like button. Those of you that have subscribed. We're up again. We're at 6,991, 9 away from 7,000, almost 3,000 this month. Thank you all so much for that. I cannot say it enough. All in all, like I said, maybe 7.5 for this night. There was for AEW Double or Nothing. There was a lot of things to me that went way too long. Another few stories that just weren't there and were set up either by tournaments or things that didn't call for any story. So you just have a hard time picking somebody to win or to root for, because it's like, well, do you want Hangman or Ospreay? Well, I like Ospreay better, but is there really one to choose over the other? I don't know. You're going by personal bias instead of story and emotion and feeling.
Oh, never mind. Forbidden Door is not next month. I'm totally.
Oh, are you? It's not in June this year? See, I'm going by you. You're supposed to be my gal on the inside.
No, I just
fact.
looked it up. It's August. It's August 24th.
Ah, so they're just booking the other show in between. Gotcha. So there's still some stuff in there, and
they have Fighter Fest.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier.
And then they got something called Summer Blockbuster, whatever the hell that is.
So they still have a few things until they get into.
And then they're doing a show in Mexico, Grand Slam Mexico in June.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be busy, so they're going to have to build to a few of these things. Just like you people could say, well, I don't care about AAA, and NXT is building towards a AAA show, and I agree. Maybe they should be focused on other things, but with the procurement and with the addition of the AAA stars, I think they're going to do a good job with it.
I find it kind of funny that Will Ospreay is on the cover art for Forbidden Door.
Right. Even though he's anything but forbidden to ever see that championship belt,
Well, the thing is, Forbidden Door is basically in his backyard, so
yeah, he'll have at least that for him, being over there across the pond. That's for sure. But yeah, I think all in all,
I did not realize that Ospreay goes back to the UK every week and then travels back here to do
goes
AEW.
home to his family, then travels back overseas to do the show, then goes back home to be with his family.
That's
nuts.
Crazy.
Absolutely insane that he has that level of dedication. So, chat, let me know, what was your favorite match from tonight? What did you enjoy the most? What was your rating for both shows, for AEW and for NXT? Give me your numbers out of 10.
Oh, I don't know. AEW, Well, let's see. The CEO won, so that takes a point off.
I'm with you there. I didn't want to see the CEO go ahead and get the tournament either, back to back now.
But I don't know. I mean, it was probably about a 7.5.
I think I'm right about there with you as well. And
But I mean, it's like
Cody's got a lot to catch up on watching the Mets.
There were some matches on that card I was kind of like going, "Oh, is this over yet?"
Not quite. And I mean, we still have some big Money in the Bank qualifying matches happen tomorrow on Raw.
That could have been a lot shorter.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from Nick Aldis actually, so he went ahead and he let us know that hey, we're gonna have some big matches tomorrow. Actually, no, we'll listen to him really quick. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Everybody, Monday Night Raw is live tomorrow night
Adam
from
Pearce,
beautiful
yes,
Tampa,
thank you.
where we are fresh off a sold-out Saturday night's main event. And don't forget tonight, NXT Battleground. But tomorrow, 2 triple threat qualifiers for the men's Money in the Bank. It will be Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor versus Seth freaking Rollins, and Chad Gable takes on Dragon Lee and Penta. And don't forget the World Tag Team Championship is on the line. Triple threat rules in effect. The New Day defends against the War Raiders and American Made. And he asked for it, and now he gets it. Akira Tozawa one-on-one with Rusev. All that and so much more tomorrow night live from Tampa.
There we go.
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Gonna be in Tampa, 8 Eastern. So it's gonna be one hell of a night. They've got some things for Memorial Day. Going to be a fun Raw. We'll be live after Raw as well on Netflix.
You got Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins in a Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Yes, indeed. So we got to see what happens.
Who is going to take the pin?
Makes you wonder, right? We'll see. But yeah, all in all, it looks like out of the 2 qualifying matches, Dragon Lee is going to be eating the one.
Balor actually won that.
It would be great, right? And then, so we already have Solo Sikoa and LA Knight. They secured their spots. And then on SmackDown, we're going to have Jacob Fatu, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade in their qualifier. Yep. And then
I'll see that match. I'll see that match live and in person.
Yes, you will. And then you're also going to see Jade, Naomi, and Nia Jax as a qualifier.
That'll be a crazy match.
Because so far for the women, we have Julia, Roxanne, Alexa, and Rhea. So Jade, Naomi, and Nia. Any one of those can win. Like I would usually be like, oh, maybe Jade will win, definitely. But no, I mean, Naomi could pull through with her new heel gimmick, or Naomi could attack Jade and take her out, and Nia wins.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say Nia wins, and then I'm also gonna say for the men's that we're gonna get Carmelo Hayes, not Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is gonna be busy with this U.S. title anyways, so Carmelo Hayes. I think Jacob Fatu is gonna get screwed by Solo.
The Jacob Fatu thing is Solo's gonna get involved.
Yep. I think so. I agree with you there. So interesting. At least they're building towards Raw and SmackDown. We're at 6,992 now. We got 8 to go.
Chad Gable, Penta, and Dragon Lee.
I think Gable will win, but Penta could as well. Dragon Lee's taking the pin though, regardless. That is absolutely
going to take the pin.
Foregone conclusion for that one. Dragon Lee is definitely taking the pin. So we'll be live tomorrow night, chat, on YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe, as I asked before. Thank you all so much for being so supportive on the reviews, on the podcast. We'll have another updated edition of everybody's favorite new show, Guilty or Guilt-Free. We'll have that up this coming Sunday, myself and Cody, as we investigate so many different angles and what needs to be broken down. I know people like the discussion on kayfabe. We're also going to have more on Into Somewhere podcast. But in the meantime, Liz, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, yep. You can find me on Twitch at DJ Anime 2016.
Absolutely. You can find her description info right there down below. Make sure you're following her on Twitter and on Twitch as well.
Media Scrum hadn't even started yet? God,
they have not. They're still waiting to kick that thing off. 1 a.m. and they're not going.
How long are they going to wait?
Far too long to pass my bedtime, that's for sure. Cody, tell the people where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
English.
Find me. I'm high. Yeah.
Gotta be.
English isn't my language either. Gibberish is.
It
you
works.
can find me
out.
over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era. And you can find me over on my Instagram at Cody_Oneidi_316, or Hogan would say 613, or whatever. It would be
Damn it.
Cody, you know?
Exactly. You were
You know,
trying to do it backwards,
that.
but that's all right. 916
fuck
619. That's right. Cody Oneidi 316 out there, not 613.
Yeah,
And
trying
of
to
course,
do it backwards. I don't know how Hogan does it, but
yeah, he's quick with it. You can find me on Instagram, on Rumble, on Twitter/X at Countdown Ended, here on YouTube, Jake Countdown Ended DeMarco. And let's go ahead, folks, and kick off the AEW review.